I'm YoBGS. I'll be your host for Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Any percent normal coming up with Claris here in just a bit. In the meantime, we've got some donations for you. $15 from Meg250, saying long-time watcher, first-time donator. Had to donate during my favorite Fire Emblem game, and for my girl Vanessa, this run is super entertaining to watch, and the Ephraim Perler is too cute to pass up. Let's do our best to fight cancer. We have a $20 anonymous donation that says, Fire Emblem Sacred Stones was my introduction to this awesome series, thanks to the old 3DS Ambassador program. Glad to see a run of it at GDQ. If the Fire Emblem Marathon was anything to go by, then I'm sure you'll destroy this run, Kirby Master. And destroy it, he did. We've got $15 from Squiggle71, saying Fire Emblem is an amazing game from my childhood. Thanks for including this in the schedule. $30 from John Toe, saying Heart AGDQ, thanks to everyone that makes this happen. Here's a $20 anonymous donation saying, donating for the first time during the Fire Emblem speedrun, seeing as how it's one of my favorite Nintendo franchises, and Sacred Stones is one of my favorite games. My grandfather recently managed his way through a particularly nasty colon cancer scare, and a close family friend is currently struggling with glioblastoma, a brain cancer with no known cure. So here's $20 to help us make a world where cancer can't hurt people anymore. Oh, to get some more Super Mario 3D World content. And on that note, the Super Mario 3D World Complete Champions Road incentive is getting so much closer to its goal. I know I'd love to see Petey Boo play that incredibly tough stage. We need about a little less than $980 more to get that played, so get those donations in. We've got a $20 donation from Zach Larrick saying, this is only my third AGDQ, but I'm finally able to donate. Cancer runs in both sides of my family, so let's kick cancer's butt and not let future generations have to worry about it. We've also got a $150 anonymous donation with no comment. There's a $150 donation from Tillian Vevfet saying Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones was one of the best games on the Game Boy Advance, and I had a great time with it. My grandmother passed away from breast cancer before I was born, and I'd like to allow others to know those who would be taken before their time. Mr. Autumn donates $5 and says, greetings from England. Longtime fan, first time watching. Love what you guys do and the positive light you put on the industry. Watching speedruns makes me wonder what it would be like if speed strats were incorporated into real life. Imagine watching someone jump and roll to work because it's faster, or press themselves against their office wall to try and clip into the bathroom. Keep up the good work. Just as a reminder, as we get into the Metroid Prime 3 Corruption run here in a few minutes, there are some awesome prizes that if you haven't had a chance to see, you should definitely take a look at them. There's an 80s retro wave Samus Aran portrait that's very unbelievably done. It's a $25 minimum donation. That's from Jace Thor. There's a Metroid Trilogy 2X vinyl soundtrack by Unfortunate Face. And we've seen a number of these vinyls pop up so far throughout GDQ, and they've been incredible, both the artwork on the albums and the albums themselves. It's a $15 minimum bid donation to get in for that one. Of course, we've got the big one as well, the PS4, the Xbox One, and also the Nintendo Switch. That's a $150 cumulative donation throughout the course of AGDQ. Can get you entered to win that one. We have a $5 donation from Iron Dragons saying first-time watcher and donator. Fire Emblem has always been one of my favorite series. put this toward Champions Road because I could never beat it, and I want to see it completed. I share the sentiment, Iron Dragon.
トリロジー日本じゃ出てないんだね。
There is an incentive that got met in a game that will be coming up in a little bit. Left 4 Dead 2 as we get into the horror block. The Save the Gnome $5,000 donation has been met. The $5,000 incentive has been met, so we will be saving that gnome. We have a $30 anonymous donation saying this is my first time donating,
今回ス
and
ー
I
パ
just
ーメ
had
トロイ
to
ド
for my
自体が
first
ないで
and
すね。
favorite Fire Emblem game.
今回
Both my
は
grandmothers passed due to cancer, and this is my way to honor them. Thank you to the organizers and runners for doing this. And just a reminder, what your donations go towards the Prevent Cancer Foundation. It's one of the nation's leading voluntary health organizations and the only U.S. nonprofit focused solely on cancer prevention and early detection. You probably associate it with GDQ, but it was actually founded in 1985. It's catapulted cancer prevention to prominence and fulfills its mission through research, education, outreach, and advocacy across the country. The Prevent Cancer Foundation funds projects in the U.S. and internationally. You can check out gamesdonequick.com and click on a link there to learn more about their projects.
ヌンチャクを振ることでビームを打ち込んで引っ張る引き上がすといった動作を行うだって。へえ。
Of course, there are also a number of other great incentives coming up. Now, for Metroid, a little bit later on, you can decide whether or not Samus will be suited or suitless in the Metroid run. Of course, we're keeping an eye on that Super Mario 3D World Complete Champions Road. I know I want to see Petey Boo do that. That run's coming up after Claris takes on Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, any percent normal.
電池突っ込むのが難しい。わからない。わからない。
Some more of the bid wars that will be coming up, especially as we look ahead to the horror block. In Dying Light, you can choose the language used for the Dying Light co-op run. And right now, it looks like Francais is the winning option, followed closely by German. You can decide whether Cubeface will play as Ophelia or Caleb in the Blood 2 The Chosen run. Right now, Caleb is winning. Ophelia has 22 cents. If met, the Wizards and Warriors run category will be changed to all bosses. That's a $6,000 incentive. It's at $1,250.50 of that. I say go for it because it's always nice to see the games be done harder and take a little bit longer. Got a $10 donation, a little bit more love coming in for Kirby. That Sacred Stones run was absolutely insane. I'm a newer Fire Emblem fan, and seeing that run revitalized my drive to getting around to playing the Game Boy Advance games.
今更だから言っとくけど、メタルギア3の最後の解説の時に最後歌ったら下手くそって言われてちょっとショックだった。ちょっとイラッときた。今更言うけど。なんかセーマ見逃した。終わっちゃいましたね。
Still got time to get in for a number of great prizes that are still available, including the AGDQ2018 sketchbook by LLK. You might have seen Sent showing this off a little bit last night. The drawings in these are unbelievable. It's a $30 minimum bid donation to get in on that one. Absolutely a bargain for just some of the phenomenal artwork in that sketchbook. Also, the Octopus AGDQ banner is a $50 minimum bid donation. Saw the banner showed off last night as well. Some of the artwork on it just unbelievable. Absolutely worth donating to get in for on that one.
あ、そういうことか。あ
Got another donation as they finish getting set up here for Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Baron Montesquieu donates $30. Says, gotta donate for Metroid Prime 3, the game I've never been able to finish. Can't wait to see the runner make it look like child's play. That's just the start of it. Claris is the world record holder for any percent normal. She's absolutely going to destroy this game.
とりあえずわからないゲームが続く。
Just a reminder, we've got a number of great prizes that will be available during the Metroid Prime 3 run, including that 80s retro wave Samus Aran portrait. Just taking a look at it, unbelievably crafted. Definitely worth the $25 minimum bid donation to get in and try and win that one. Of course, that's not the only artwork we have. Again, you may have seen this one a little bit earlier as well. There's an original acrylic painting on canvas of Samus arriving on Xevious Super Metroid. Very vibrant painting. You can get in with a $10 minimum bid donation during the Metroid Prime 3 run.
Mario RPG でよく出てくるね。3でダークサムスかな。ダークサムスってそもそも誰だよって話だよ、俺にとっちゃ。お、始まるかな。
All right, we are going to throw it over to Claris for Metroid Prime 3 Corruption any percent normal. Claris, take it away.
Woo, Corruption!
Woo!
So we ready to go?
早い。
Okay.
始まるの早い。
3, 2, 1, go.
So, should we do roll call?
Claris?
サムスの中身はなんかスマブラで見たことある。
I'm Memory TAS.
This shoulder here is Kirby Master.
Hi, Kirby.
Hi, what's up?
Hi. So the game starts out off with a bunch of cutscenes. I think this one is like about Dark Samus escaping from some Phazon or something, or
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happening.
I don't remember either.
Plot.
This is the sequel to Metroid Prime 2 for the Nintendo GameCube.
this game came out in 2007 with like less than a year after the Wii launched, and that will become very evident in like a couple seconds.
なんで
Point of
マスター
controls.
の自慢が出てる。
Welcome to the future. We now have pointer controls instead of holding R and L to aim.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of random, pointless motion control things.
They're not pointless. They add immersion.
You gotta have the immersion. Metroid's all about the immersion.
You must feel like you're in the world.
Poke, 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 poke. That's like one of my favorite parts of the early game.
Yeah,
Need no
the start of the game's the
account
only time you can poke it without losing time, so you gotta do as much as you can here.
Wait, this code is
今これ
always the
テ
same.
ストかな。テスト中かな。
Okay, so this is pointer controls.
あのさ、
and
センターに見えるの
so this
プレデターのあ
is
れにし
not
か見
the
えないんだけど
setup
ダメ。
I'm used to sitting in. So, like at
Game
the,
might be slightly off.
yeah, at the start.
であ
it
の
was-
さ、あのセンターのさ三角形が僕にはプレデターの
Coming up is pretty much the
Ooh,
tutorial
I
area.
pointed towards the screen.
プレデターの照準にしか見えないのダメですか？
Truly
病気ですか？
The future
How
of
immersed
video
did you
games.
feel? Yeah, this acts as a tutorial section. There's a bunch of targets you're supposed to shoot. And there's quite a few spots in early game where you're supposed to shoot targets.
早いな
Claris is going to be using an option called lock-on free aim, and she's going to keep that off for the early game
Alien
until
vs.
after a certain
Predator
point in the run where she doesn't
ゲー
need
ム
to
で
fire at targets anymore.
Yeah.
Lock-on free aim is an option where if you're
エイ
locked
ムの
onto something, you can still aim
エイムのアイ
outside
コ
of
ン
the
があれ
target
なんです
range.
よ
So it has both advantages and disadvantages.
So right here is something
Tutorial
called a
stream.
spring space jump, where you basically
そうですショルダーキャノンの
use either a bomb jump or a spring ball jump, and
あ
you have to
あリモコンとヌン
you
チャク
need to
そうだ
get
よ
an
ね
instant
Wii だも
unmorph
ん
by having the camera stuck in the wall. Then if you get an instant unmorph, you can jump within
これ基本
Sort of.
あれ
like
か
a
エイ
third
ムは
of a second.
み
Yeah,
んな
so
リ
what
モ
I
コン
just
でやる
did
の
there
か
is that there's a long
これ移動どうやってんだろう
cutscene in that room that you can't skip. You just have to. I can't do it right now.
Can't draw.
I can't. So yeah, what I did was unload the room and come back,
ヌンチャクかなり使うの
and so that's a lot faster than just standing around waiting for the cutscene to end.
Skipping the immersion of watching gore getting
リモコンオンリー
I am so immersed.
移動はヌンチャク側
Or
攻
this
撃が
area kind of just has a lot of
Remote.
oh, we have motion controls. Just point
Ah,
around and
こうや
try
って
these
やるのか
twist things out.
ああなるほど
It's
ね確かにヌ
very
ンチャク
clearly
スティッ
an
クあるも
early
んね
Wii game, for better and worse.
Yeah, there are some parts where it works fine, and the pointer controls I think are generally pretty solid
Yeah.
if you're used to the setup.
Yeah, I'm not used to this.
俺そういえばヌンチャク持ってねえなリモコン持ってっけど
All right. So right here, Claris is springballing to hit a low trigger for the next room coming up to save a little bit of time. This game is ran on optimizing how you load the next room quickly a lot, because in a lot of rooms, there's two ways to load a room. One is to shoot the door and get close to the door, and that automatically starts loading the next room. The
と
other
りあえ
way
ず
is
ドア
to hit an
開け
invisible
ばロ
loading
ーディング
trigger
が始まっ
for
て
the next
次
room,
の
and that starts loading that
とこ
room.
行けるんで
So in a lot of cases, sometimes it may take long. Oh, by the way, this save is required.
Yeah, so you have to visit it.
You don't have to save, but you have to visit it. But there are cases where, like, sometimes just hitting the low trigger more quickly is faster overall, even though it takes you longer to reach the door.
Yeah, that's the thing with this game is that the loads are really slow.
リモヌンスタイル社長が
We'll definitely be
No.
seeing a lot of that later.
For those not initially aware, the Metroid Prime series tends to hide its loading screens behind doors. So whenever a door is taking long to open, that's because
てか
it's
メトロ
loading.
イドっていつから FPS になったの
It's all part of the immersion.
Ah,
And that's
Fusion
what happens in
の時も
real
確か
life. You go through a door and you just kind of have to
FPS
stand
だ
there
ったか
for
な
5 seconds until the door decides to open. Like, that's what I did trying to get into the stream room. That's why setup took so long. It was just loading really slowly.
So yeah,
This
Prime.
run is now family friendly because you skipped
なる
Admiral
ほどあり
Dane's
がとうござい
line.
ます
Damn.
yeah. So there's a line where Dane says "damn," but in
って
the
ことはこれの
European
一作目
version
が
they censored it to "no."
から FPS
It's a teen-rated game, so I don't really see the point.
But it's a Nintendo teen rated game.
Oh, so
Not
are
all.
you gonna save the soldier or not?
Are you gonna
Oh, are you saying
horrifically
to do that?
murder the soldier
Or are you gonna
not?
be gallantly save the soldier here? Which is it? Make your decision.
ああ死んじゃったよとか言ってるけど
You just shot a man and caused him to go into the cold depths of space.
Speedrunning.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
doesn't
did you just
even
not
save
see,
time.
Did you just not see my Fire Emblem run where I killed 5 units?
It's the same amount of time. There's no. It's chaotic evil. Like,
This is
これは-
not the
これ
save
は
all
2%
soldiers
だって
category.
全ての
This is any percent normal.
戦闘員を
Okay?
救うカテゴリーじゃねえぞとか言う
doesn't even
冗談言ってます
lose
けど
time to save.
So on a serious note, we just had a fight. There's a few pirates you need to kill, and you need to kill all of them to pick up the energy cell, which allows you to power this up. And it activates another fight with a bunch of mini crawl tanks or whatever. And there's a cutscene that's gonna happen soon where a crawl tank will open a space for you to roll in, but it only happens after you kill a certain number of enemies on
まずい
this
わ
room. So So you want to kill as many enemies as you can quickly until this crawl tank under the ground here spawns.
Also, one thing, when you enter and skip the cutscene, if you're in Morph Ball, the camera will face the way you're moving before the cutscene started. So sometimes one of those bugs will push you away right before the cutscene starts, and so then the camera will be like facing some completely random direction after it ends. So you gotta look out for that.
So Claris is about to open up her scan visor, and you have some 4 visors in the game. You start with the combat and scan visor. Scan visor is not used very frequently in this game.
ダメだよね。
But
エイリアンとかさ、プレデターとか知ってる人はさ、絶対そっち行っちゃう。
And occasionally you do still
どうしても
use
行っ
it
ちゃう
to
よ。どう
do
すん
the
だよ。
little side dash maneuver, but it's really nerfed in this game,
Yeah,
even over Echoes.
Scan dashes are really nerfed compared to especially Prime 1 and 2, but they do have their uses here and there. So right there, Claris jumped on a rail to skip going around the room once, and she's taking these
さ、バ
nice
ットマンが
shortcuts
出てくるとこでしょ。
pretty much skip this entire room and get missiles.
それも
For
若
whatever
干違う
reason, Samus starts with space jump, bombs,
Oh,
charge
なんか
beam,
聞いたことある
Morph
音楽だ。
ball, Varia suit, but doesn't start with missiles. I don't know why.
To be fair, Varia suit is no different, like doesn't really do anything different in this game.
That is true.
And also, they got tired of
イギリス
speedrunners
の
skipping space jump.
MI6 のエージェントかもしれないね。
Yeah.
I got tired of skipping space jump. So.
Skipping space jump is not fun in Prime 1 or 2.
Well,
タート
Well,
ルス
for some people.
It is. Some people it is.
スプリンター先生。
So there's a gimmick with those enemies. You're supposed to shoot the one that doesn't have a blue barrier, but you can just skip it by rolling through them. And take like, oh no, like 1 damage.
Gasp. We like to live on the edge
こんな
here
こん
in
なメトロイド
Metroid
はただ
Prime 3 Corruption for the
解
Nintendo
説じゃないよ。
Wii.
ただの
Here's the
映
first
画
boss,
雑談よ。
Berserker Lord.
その通りだぜ。
To shoot
だってゲームわかん
the
ねえもん。
shorter things, and then it'll either the enemy will shoot either 3
あれでしょ
or
あ
5
の
purple
この
orbs.
ゲームプレデリアンが出るんでしょ
If it shoots 5, then you can damage it in
Gotcha.
one
エイリアン
hit.
に襲われてるってことはほら
Like,
It
you
takes
can
4
open
to
it.
destroy
Predator.
its shell. If you get 3, you have to just try again.
Yeah.
But she got the good luck, so that fight was very fast. It's a really well
だ
executed
ったら
fight.
語ればいいだ
One thing about loads, if you play the trilogy version on Wii U eShop, then the loads are much faster
いやゲームを知らないから見てる
due
と
to being digital.
エイリアンとか
But
プレデターにしか
they
見えないっていうの
fixed a lot
が
of
正
things
直な感想なんですよ
in, eShop, in
Trilogy.
trilogy version, not eShop. So it actually ends up being slower to do a run on that version, even though the loads are so much faster. So,
Another thing about that trilogy version, if you play the original Wii version, the loads aren't faster and in fact are slower.
ディスク版のトリロジーは
don't
プレイす
play
るな
the
っつってる
disc
けどなんで
version of trilogy. That's
プライムは出てましたよたださっき
So
言っ
we
てた
just
トリ
landed
ロ
in
ジーは
Norway,
出
which
て
is
ない
kind of
と
a
いうこと
side
で
area that you can revisit here and there.
ハイパーモード
like it's the
レッド
first
スー
area
ツ
of
という装備を
story,
入
so
手していくエネ
there's
ルギータンク
we're
一つ
still
を
in a bit of
消費してしようか
tutorial land.
yeah, this game is way too much tutorial stuff.
More
任
targets.
天堂からなの
Good
に
job.
出なくなったら本当泣くよ
So
ね
she's gonna go ahead and get the first, another major upgrade here called Grapple Lasso, and do a quick scan dash
おなん
here.
か
This is the first of quite a few grapple
グラ
upgrades
ップル
in the game,
レ
don't
ー
you
ザ
think?
ー is オンラインってあるから
five of them.
グラップルレーザー
Grapple
が
Lasso
使え
is
るよ
an
うになり
upgrade
ま
that
した
allows you to use your grapple beam to rip things off or pull things. So it doesn't actually let you swing across like grapple points like in Prime 1 or 2. There's a separate upgrade for that she'll get relatively early in the run.
おお
Ooh, motion control.
Motion
多分
controls!
エレベーターじゃないかこれ
Immersion! Your right arm is like so immersed.
Well, my left arm is gonna get into it too soon.
Yeah, the grapple lasso uses the
おお
nunchuck instead of the.
Whoa!
Whoa!
So yeah, also when every time you use the grapple lasso, you always want to beat it in the air when you use it because it saves like probably like a second compared to using it on the ground because there's always like a pause before you try to swing a grapple lasso if you use it on the ground, which is why Claris is jumping between
ジョ
every
コロさ
grapple
んは
lasso
わ
here.
かりません
Here's another E-Tank. E-Tanks are pretty much the most important
エ
expansions
ナ
in
ジ
the
ータ
game.
ンク
Missiles are
エ
kind
ネ
of
ルギータン
useless.
クの方がいいのか
And
落ちた
we'll explain more about that later on about why energy tanks will be really important.
Oh no.
Oh no. Not only that, but it's pretty much in your way here, so...
ボールになると TPS になるんだね。あー
Okay. Just pretty much just
Medium.
rolling away.
Everyone's getting blown up here. I don't care. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna run away.
Wow, you used a missile?
Yeah.
サムスの武器は何があるんですかね、基本。
So there's a bunch of mines that are hard to see on the ground here. You want to shoot them out. You don't want to try to roll through them or else you get knocked back. Now here's a pirate fight coming up here. The next set of pirates will spawn the moment you kill 2 of them. So Claris will try to
ね
take out the 2 weaker pirates as soon as possible. They only take 1
右
charge
手
to
の
kill here.
銃で撃つ
And there we go. The next set will
の
start
がメイン
spawning.
でしょ。
Yeah, and that's the last I need of lock on for name being off. So,
This is the right way to speedrun the game.
yes.
ロックバスター言うな。
These two pirates have a bit more armor, so they take
ゲーム
more
がちゃ
to
うで
kill. And there are also shield pirates, which the gimmick is that you're supposed to grapple lasso the shields up, which I actually kind of like, but you want to just kill them before they bring them out, so you can just kill them.
It's immersive.
It's immersive.
True.
やっぱり言ったよ、最高
So
感。
these flying pirates have a tendency to break out of your
最高感
lock
は
on. Some enemies
左手だ
can
ろ
just do in this game, but you can just re-lock on immediately. Their hitboxes don't make sense, so sometimes you'll just randomly miss them. And then now there's a pirate ship that's going to come, and Claris is going to try to hit it with 4 charge shots
銃
and
なんか
missiles
捨てて
to
かかって
blow
こ
it
い
up.
できないな。
There we go. And this NPC here, he is Limbus. He is one of the 3 bounty hunters in the game, and we're not going to see much of him.
コブラ
Which is unfortunate because he's pretty cool IMO.
コブラ
Interesting thing about this game is that it actually has a lot of voice acting for a Nintendo game at the
It
time.
does.
And they even hired some decently well-known voice actors.
早いね。
The biggest
Game
one being Christopher Sabat, who you might know as the voice of Vegeta from the Dragon Ball franchise.
Who does he
これ
voice
何して
again?
んだろう。
Vegeta.
Like in
No,
this game.
no,
I
it's
Oh,
forgot.
okay.
run this.
Oh, forgot about that.
Run this.
発
Alright,
電
so your goal in
ジェネレーター
Dorian
ま
is to activate the 3 generators.
ジェネレーターを
This is the
3
first
回
one Claris is
ああ
in,
落ち
and
た
there's a kind of a mini boss fight coming up where she has to destroy these flying little robots.
Oh, wow, that just happened in practice too, and that's never happened to me before, so I don't know how I messed that up like that.
Yeah, there's no real luck in this fight with where they spawn. So if you know where they spawn, you can just predict where they're gonna be and just kill them. But if you miss a shot, then this is kind of a fight where things go to hell. Go downhill.
Oh.
Bad
So-
adjective.
It's a
So,
team-rated game.
so, there's sort of waves. So once you
メトロイ
finish
ドや
off
っ
the
たこ
first
とない
wave,
私に
like you know where the next set will
おすすめ
spawn.
するとしたら何がいいですか。
So even if you screw up the first phase, you're not
こういう話をするしかないで
totally
すね。
blind.
Alright, so there's kind of a little morphle puzzle here where she has to roll around these morphle tunnels and activate these morphle bomb slots.
You are thinking of the wrong room.
Oh, I am. You're right. Thank you.
So the generators all
Prime to
have
zero
the same basic designs, which is why Kirby mixed them up.
Yeah. What in the name of?
コマンドコマンド
There's not much going on
全部やろう
right here, so if you have some donations, that would be a good time.
Well, we've got plenty of them. $500 donation from Icefire.
Wow.
Thanks, Icefire.
And Icefire says, insert corruption quote here.
Catch.
Go on.
We've got $25 from Jim Bradfield saying motion controls are the future.
てか
There's a
ボール上でジャン
$75
プしたんだけ
donation
ど
from
今
Average Joe 1812. Samus still needs more DACA. Good luck on the run. Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
I don't know if we mentioned that spring balling
Hostile eliminated.
uphill slopes is faster.
ホスタイルっていうのは
Hostile
敵って
eliminated
意味です
Wee.
ホスタイル
I think he also,
エリミネイテッドって言
Christopher
っ
Sabat
た
also
のは
voiced
エリミネイ
some
トっていうの
random
は
troopers, but
殲滅したっていうことなんでまあ敵を排除したっていう感じで
Using
すか
Spring
ね
Ball involves flicking the Wiimote, which can sometimes be kind of unresponsive.
I think you mean immersive.
Yes.
あとはよく
Failing
映
the
画
spring
で
ball with the flicking Wiimote is very immersive.
Yeah, because if
Ato
you
eiga de
like
yoku
roll
We
into
Got
a ball
Company
and
っていうのは
try and flick your wrist to jump in real life, it
カン
won't
パニーっ
work.
て普通会社とか言うん
Immersion.
ですけどよ
Alright,
く
here is
敵
one
さ
of
ん
the
が
best
来た時に
NPCs in the game
We
coming
Got
up.
Company ってい
His
う
name
の
is
は
Gore. He's another
集
bounty
団
hunter
で
like Rundus.
お相手しなきゃいけな
I
いか
have
ら
no idea who his voice
ま
actor
あ
is.
そういうふうに言います
Nor Gantry does. I just know Rundus.
Alright, we have to get ready for this.
スーパーメトロイドの RTA とか
Go on!
So Claire's
まあ
activated the
よ
loading
く
trigger,
FPS
but
ゲーではよく
the
ある
in-game
話ですね We
time
Got Company
is
とか
paused
ホスター
while,
とか
talking to the NPC.
I'm actually not aiming for in-game time.
Oh,
this
well.
one, since we won't get a chance to even see it.
Yeah, but you still did it anyways because it,
Yeah.
it doesn't waste time either.
Yeah, because like I still beat the load to the next room, even talking to him.
ハン
Like,
ターハンター
could
で覚え
waste
た
time there.
なる
Yeah,
ほど
the Prime community typically goes by in-game time, and this game is no different for the most part. But it requires watching the credits in a marathon. We're probably not going to do that.
Yeah,
But
credits are
Credits
5 minutes long.
yeah,
It's like-
90% of the strats are like the same anyway, so it's not really too big of a deal. All right, so here's a Ridley encounter.
Now
There's a way to
they
skip
kinda
it. It's stupid, so Claris isn't doing it.
Yeah, it uses the very immersive spring ball,
なんだこれ
and I don't want to do that.
So
Pteranodon
because
みた
this
いな
game
なんかで
has
すよ
spring ball, to make sure that you cannot do like like bomb jumps that are higher than before, they
普通に
added
ゲーム
something
見てちゃうんだけど
called the one bomb in midair rule, where if you get hit by a bomb while
赤い
in
パチンコ玉
midair,
が
it won't.
物理法則無
But
視し
you
て
get
走って
hit
る
by another one until you touch the ground again. And what the game considers ground can be a little interesting at times.
Okay, so it's random how many lasers you get, so that was actually perfect. The
Nice.
minimum amount of lasers.
Nice thing about Rundus is that he actually gets a generator for you. So really, you only have to get 2 generators online, not 3.
なんか後ろから攻撃されてますね
Wow, shooting those targets was very immersive.
あこれが敵の司令官なんだ
I too play Simon.
メガトロン的ポジションなんだ
Yeah, for sure.
All right, this is the room I was trying to talk
Yeah.
about. So after Claris activates the terminals on the 2 sides of the room, she's gonna go around some more ball tunnels and activate some bomb slots. With each bomb slot she activates, there's gonna be a morph ball platform that's gonna show up. That's faster by a second, by the way.
またトンネルだよ
On the higher level, which she needs to cross to
Tunnel?
Okay.
tunnel.
Tunnel. There we
Like
go.
where the camera changes like that, it messes up your controls sometimes. So
To my understanding, if the camera changes instantly, your controls assume that the camera was at the previous angle for about a second in this game. Something like that. It
敵
kind of
の司令官の復活怪人バージョンなるほどわからん
So
no.
もう司令官っていうと
how often have you made that
メタ
title?
は
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I
wait, the
completely messed
Optimus
up
Prime
getting
as
into
well.
the
Yeah,
tunnel to
oh,
start.
that's true.
オプティマス
Who
プライム
knows
メガトロン
what
そうダメさ
cycle we were on, probably.
じゃあオプティマスプライムですよ
All right.
No. No.
No.
No.
No.
なんかこ
Oh.
の
So you
電
can
撃イライラ
jump,
棒的
you
な
can use the spring ball to like slightly speed up this
イライラ
section,
棒じゃないん
but
です
Yeah,
in
it's
a
like-
marathon it's a little risky because if
か
you
よいい
fall,
考
that's
え
a
る
lot of
て
time
て
lost.
て
You have to climb all the way back
Yeah,
up.
it's like I'm already not used to this setup. Let's not throw in random spring balls.
All right. So here's Ridley that she's about to fight. This is basically
Meta.
mash as much as you can.
メタリ
So
ドリ
Ridley's weak point is the mouth, and you just want to keep trying to mash into his mouth, and that's about it.
めちゃくちゃ撃ってるけ
They
ど
actually buffed
撃ちまくってるだけなんだけど
the uncharged power beam shot in this game.
Yeah, compared to Prime 1 and Prime 2.
Yes. Prime 1 and Prime 2, Charge Beam does 50 damage, Uncharged does 2 damage. But in Prime 3, Uncharged shot does 5 damage, Charge Beam does 50 damage. So it's very nice for a fight like this.
Okay, so basically this fight is divided in 5 phases. This is the second phase here.
急に戦闘なんだけ
The
ど
starting attack in this phase
何が
is
なんだ
random, but every attack after that follows a certain order. So like It's the same pattern no matter what. It's just where you start in the pattern.
それもまた
It
違
just
うんじゃ
cycles
ないの
through them, so
としか言いようがない
There's
です
not
よ
going to be too much variation.
did that land?
I think you hit the fireball.
下のメーターがね下のメーターがゼロになったらアウトってことか
Okay. Now, fortunately, Ed's gonna
ボイジャー
do
って聞く
an
とスター
attack
トレッ
where
クしか
he
出てこ
pulls
ない
his hand
僕はダ
back
メで
and
す
I
か
get 3 shots in. Hopefully, I'll actually get all 3 shots.
ダメだな完全に
Nope.
Your
Yeah,
aim
wait,
technically is a bit off just because of the physics of constantly falling down.
Yeah,
It's kinda
like you're
pretty
constantly
annoying.
moving around.
口の中が弱点なん
It's like if
で
you fire a missile, for example, you'll actually fall ahead of the missile.
まあ
for
当
a
たる
second.
よう当たらなんか乱れ打ち
Not-
してるっていう
Oh no, because I think you're falling. I don't remember.
This is a very, very tall thing.
You can see the meters counter. We're still 10 kilometers away from the
割れ
bottom.
そうになってる
Somehow you don't die like long before then. Like you'd think you'd hit terminal
シーンスキップ
velocity
すんなよ
or
わかんねえだ
something,
ろ
but no.
But to be fair, Samus is in a suit.
Does it have like G diffusers from like F-Zero?
Yeah, of
That-
course.
That suit is magic. It has everything in it.
And Run has just saved our butt. That's
I don't think they've introduced magic into the suit quite yet. That's one game later, unfortunately.
So the 3 generators are activated. Now Claris is going to go ahead to... I don't even remember the room name.
悪の
Center
魔
of the area, I guess. Which is where she's going to activate a cutscene that precedes the story.
So that impact in 4 minutes thing will actually kill you if you take 4 minutes.
Yeah, even though there's not like a timer displayed on the screen,
Sounds all
every so
for to
often
stop
they'll
meteor
announce over
have
the
failed
intercom.
Yeah, like every minute it'll be like, impact in 3 minutes, impact in 2 minutes, blah blah.
So did you know all efforts to stop the meteor have failed?
I'm curious though, what happens if you like save at the last
Easy
minute?
key.
Does it reset the timer?
Yeah, it does.
Because that would suck if you could just get screwed by saving at like 1 second remaining or something, and
隕石を止め
like,
ろ
you'd
みたい
have
な
to
こと
start
ば
an
っかり
entire new file. But thankfully, you know.
Yeah, so we're almost done with the tutorial areas.
まあメトロイドってそういうんじゃなかったっけ
Now would be a good time for some more donations, probably.
All right, we've got $150 from Jimmy Jajim
そっか
saying, so psyched for Metroid Prime 3. Samus loves speedruns and hates cancer. We got $50 from Example Daniel saying, finally Metroid Prime 3
Naruhodo.
after the first 2 have been shown at AGDQ. I look forward to Metroid Prime 4 when it comes out this or next year. Side note, do Metroids taste like chicken?
まさかのソニック
There's
ア
a
ドベンチャー
Personal
になった
experience? No, they do not.
There's a $25 anonymous donation saying, Samus's love, Samus's life.
So
1ヶ月後
Samus just got owned by Dark Samus, and she
た
was
ま
in
に
a
役が
1-month
むちゃくちゃな
coma.
の俺
And
が
now she's gonna wake up, and the Federation is gonna be like, "Hey, what's up?"
By
We
the way,
just-
we installed all this stuff in your suit while you were sleeping. We don't need permission to do that, right?
Yeah, and we're not going to even wait 30 seconds.
目の
after
間
you
がやたら
woke up
広い
from
な
a long coma before we're going to explain this stuff to you.
You've been asleep for quite some time. A month to be exact.
So yeah, the upgrade that we actually just got is called the PED suit. It
読む前に行くな
basically
よ
allows you to use hyper mode, which is the main combat mechanic of this game. It's required. The game tells you use an energy tank to have a limited amount of phase on, which is incredibly overpowered. But you don't actually use
もうパ
health
パ
when
が
you
進めないで
activate
く
hyper
れ
mode. You only use hyper mode in proportion to how much phase on you use. In addition to that, when you're in hyper mode, you're completely invulnerable to anything.
Yep.
So you can literally just turn on hyper mode,
ダーク
take
サ
some
ムスに
hits,
ボコら
turn
れ
it
て1
off,
ヶ月後
no
仲間
health
に
take,
ボコら
no
れたや
damage
つら
taken.
Yeah, it's my best friend over
Naruhodo.
here. So.
In an old interview with some Retro Studios staff members, they said that hyper mode would be a speedrunner's best
ハイパー
friend.
モードおい
Yeah.
They could have made it a little less friendly. It's sort of
You must have noticed
It's
better-
so overpowered that everything else is just terrible to use.
it's not overpowered because that's exactly how they designed
PD
it.
スーツアクワイア
Like, it's more over centralized.
PD スーツをゲットしたそうですけど
Because like,
Everything else
分かってない
becomes near worthless compared to hyper mode.
So-
Like, you could either shoot, like, you can either kill an enemy with hyper mode and have it take a couple seconds, or you can decide to kill it
Kill
without
ya.
hyper mode and have it
水圧
take
戦場機
an entire minute.
that's a bit of
駆動
understatement
スー
sometimes.
ツ
Not even kidding. There's also a
Pedal
lot of
suits
enemies that
they
can
know.
enter hyper mode themselves, which in that case you pretty much have to use hyper mode on
Yeah.
them. So,
今
in
回
other
の
words,
弱
we're gonna
体
see a
か
lot of hyper mode in this run, and not much use of other weapons.
なんか赤じゃなくなりましたね
For reference, an uncharged hyper beam shot does 50 damage. A charged power beam shot does 50 damage. Yeah,
And charged hyper beam is basically a Gatling gun of sorts of mini.
やりすぎると
like,
ダークサウンドに
regular
操られて
hyper
ゲー
beam
ム
shots.
へ
Shadow's to
え
that
なるほ
trooper.
ど
He has some crazy armor to be able to be immune to hyper mode. Like, that's just insane.
If you did that, if you shot at a trooper in some of the other rooms, the ship would get pissed off at you.
Yeah, the game actually spawns a turret in that room and shoots at you, and if you do it too much, it actually kills you in one hit.
パッパ
It's
カパッパカ
actually
進
pretty
む
funny.
な
Alright, so this is where the real game begins, where we can actually start exploring and stuff. So, the general trend of the game, casually, is you're supposed to go to Brio, then Elysia, then Pirate Homeworld. And you have access to Brio and Elysia, the first two major areas, right off the bat.
青子光の
However,
フェイズ
Elysia
温
is
泉
completely
で
blocked off by a Hyperball barrier, which is an item you're supposed to get in Brio.
シグマウイル
So
ス
Clarus is
で
gonna
ゼ
go
ロ
to
が
Brio
大きい
first
確
and
かに
get
そう
grapple
いう
swing.
話かもしれ
Not strictly required in the game to beat it, but it's very
Let's
useful.
say it is.
Okay, let's say it is.
It's required for sanity.
For sanity's sake.
If you don't want to like go out of bounds for hours at a time, then you need grapple swing.
Yeah, and out of bounds is very slow, so you want to avoid it whenever possible. So the grapple swing is just that
あれ
important.
あれ Wii U ってゲームキューブ動かないよね
And you still have to go to parts of Brio anyway, so
どうすっ
Yeah,
か
because you need to screw it that later too.
Yeah, so this game kind of treats elevators differently compared to the other Prime games, where your
No,
ship is
kana,
basically
ichou
a
Wii
really
あるけど。
flexible elevator, and you have landing sites
一応
across each
Wii あるけ
area,
ど。
which you can pretty much just teleport to with your ship.
赤い Wii がうちあるけど
And in
引っ
Brio,
張
you
り出
can
すの
only
クソめん
access
どく
one
さい
landing site at first, but so you need to get the Brio map in order to unlock the other areas, which is important because one of them
Okay,
one of
that
those areas
took
is
longer for the
required
camera to
for
turn.
screw attack.
2を攻略見ずに完全クリアできたら Wii で
Not
プ
everyone's
ライムある
going to immersion
で
so
さ
far.
じゃあ探そう
So immersed.
Wii タイトルは遊
So
べ
one
ます
thing
ね
about
Wii
this
U
game
で
is that while
Wii
there's
モー
an
ドがあ
option
るん
to
で
turn off hints, it doesn't actually shut up the NPCs.
It doesn't.
So they're going to be talking to you throughout the entire game, no matter what you do. On the other hand, this
Wii
means we
と
can
か
give them
は
tasks when we
リージョン
ignore
あるんかね
what they want you to actually do at that time.
You actually want to avoid some of the dialogue boxes and not advance them because that actually forces the game to load them, and they can take some loads take longer. So don't talk
This
to
is
the
another
NPCs.
spring space jump here. It skips like most of this room by going straight to the top.
Yeah.
Normally you have to
あ、
activate
リージョン
two
があるん
bomb
だ
slots, but if you
へー
just go to the last one,
そ
you
れは
only have
初
to
耳
activate that.
That opens the path to
ちな
grapple
み
swing.
に
And also nice
え
shortcut here.
Xbox はヨーロッパ版動きますよ
Yeah, so
割と日本のでも
What's
なぜかリー
really
ジョンが
happens
DVD
is
同じだから
that when you get a message like this, it's gonna keep repeating constantly because cutscenes happen and then reset it. So it's like, in case you really didn't know that the Leviathan Sea is protected by an energy shield, we're really gonna let you know.
ソフト自体もある
You
し
know that the Leviathan seat is protected by an
基本
energy
的
shield.
には
Oh, I know.
DVD のリージョンに
Oh, here's a
準
reminder.
拠しているものが多いですね
Wait, what was that again?
Did you know the Leviathan seat is protected by an energy shield?
Oh,
箱勢
cool,
特有
thanks.
の勧誘
Welcome.
箱はいい
So
ぞ
here's really the first
Xbox
introduction
はカ
of
スタム
what
B
combat will be like for the rest of the game,
Bye.
カスタム BGM はいいぞ
Bye.
and that's combat.
Yep.
hyper mode is really powerful.
I believe the spawn point for one of those enemies is random. I don't remember off the top of my head. That's
I don't know if it's random for moves during the cutscene. I need to like. I don't think I've ever.
五感割りじゃなくない
good point.
はずだけど忘れちゃった。
And Brio has kind of a little
Xbox
mechanic
は持
where
って
you
ね
have
えし。
dual gel, and if you shoot it with a charge shot, you can blow it up. It's
入荷しま
not
したって
super
聞くの
relevant
待つ
because
だ
we're
け
not
だし。
gonna be in
ネオ
Brio
ジオ
that much.
ネオジオ CD だけは勘弁だ
Yeah,
な。
here's grapple swing, which basically gives you the grapple beam from Prime 1 and 2.
Yeah. So this is
ヘイロー確かにメトロイド世界観近いよね。
second
見
out
た目
of
が
five grapple items in this game.
And now she's gonna go ahead and get the Brio map, which is on the other half of this area,
Hakuya
pretty much.
Neo
She's gonna be
Geo.
doing some pretty significant skips here. She's gonna use another 2
それしか
SSGs,
MVP
one to
スキッ
get to that ledge up there.
プわからねえ俺には。
Yes, spring space jump. We're gonna use that abbreviation a lot. So that skips taking the grapple points that are across the room and climbing to the top. And this skips having to grapple lasso some of those grates off and then rolling through the Morphle tunnel.
いいで2時間半ってことは普通にやったら40時間くらい
Well,
か
I
か
don't
る
mean
で
to
しょ。
interrupt the immersion here, but we've got a $30,000
340
donation from the
yeah.
Yeti.
Wow.
And it says, "Hey y'all, Yeti here. We're so happy to be back at AGDQ with amazing teas for you. Your support has been overwhelming. We've raised $30,000 for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Thank you for your support. Shout outs to our Yeti family who make our participation possible. Thank you, Yeti fam. We love you." And just as a note, that pushes the total amount donated over $300,000 for
$3,000 のド
AGDQ.
ネーションとか。
Let's go.
3K and counting. 3K. 300K.
エティだったかな。うん、エ
It
テ
would be
ィ
kind
の
of bad if we don't
There
raise
is
like
so much
3K by
ド
now.
ネーションですね。3
Oh
万
my
っつった
god. The immersion of failing to
あれ
figure
30っ
something
つった
out.
30,000っつった言った。
Like I'm really an electrical engineer.
それは失礼。
Oh, that took my energy tank away. That's not good.
Oh, that is actually kind of a problem. There is a kind of
it's not good.
みんなイエティで T シャツ買ってますね。
okay. There is a kind of a mini boss fight coming up soon.
マップをダウンロードしまして。
So yeah, now she can go to Fiery Brio, which is where Screw Attack is. That's not relevant right now, but she does need to come back later in the run for that.
So, right here, I'm gonna do a slope jump, which is just a jump against the slope to jump
あ
higher.
そうか下の
And
か。
I jumped high
そっ
enough
か
that it's actually gonna spawn me
そう
up
か
here
ごめんごめん。
instead, so I
下
can
の
get
右
this
下のですね。右下の30万度ですね。
Missiles are not very useful in this game, but
なんか
I do
聞き
want
間
some
違い
of
が多い
them,
な。
so I get missiles that basically cost no time to get. And see, all that time getting that missile, I still beat the load to the next room.
Yeah, this game's loads are very good. So here's the fight coming up. There's gonna be multiple enemies that fall down, and you have to kill them. The spawning point for the first two, I believe, is always the same. But after that, every one of these enemies that spawn will always spawn from the far side of the bridge. So Claris is gonna stay on this bridge and just keep shooting them. That was some immersive combat.
これなんだ
Now, go ahead and do one donation here.
サテライトで
All right, we've got a $25 donation from Red43 saying, "Red from World 9 Gaming here. Here's to a great Metroid Prime 3 corruption run. Everyone needs some immersive environments now and then, right? Let's keep it up in kicking cancer to the curb with the donations."
Okay, so this is where the fun really begins in this run.
So this trick has been known for a pretty long time now, but
Since 2011,
yeah,
so 7 years.
but it wasn't actually incorporated into runs until very recently.
Yeah,
Claris was,
エリシア
I think, the first to use it.
yeah.
It's the biggest skip in the game by far.
Yeah, so aside from getting Screw Attack, I am done with Brio now. I'm
え
not doing
何がディスルだったかわかんねえ。何
getting
え
ice missiles or ship missiles or
これ Wii ですね。
Hyperball or Fighting Machina or any of that.
So if you had any donation, if
No,
you were
no,
going to
this
make,
is it.
I mean, if you were going to make a donation about Rundus's music, you're not going to hear it.
Yeah, you're not.
On the other hand, this means Rundus lives. So
本来
write
は
that
いい
into
シェン
your
に向かって
headcanon,
も
if you
必要
will.
なアイテムが
So
足りない
first I'm gonna go
ほう
forward to load the next room. Make things a bit faster later. One,
The satellite
two,
data has revealed
three,
2 distinct energy signatures.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
何してんの今
It's not over yet.
Wow, that was a stupid way to mess that up.
また悪いことか
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
また悪いことですか
Yeah, this is really long through.
Okay.
That's probably gonna be too low. I'm probably gonna fall off.
So Claire's is trying to edge her way to a
Yeah.
standable spot, but in this case, she landed too low on the cushion.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
細かく番号ナンバー時間取ってますね
Aw.
So once Clara shoots
まあ明らかに
the
悪さしてま
robot,
したよね
she knows when it will respawn.
赤がために狙ってるのが分かる行動しかしてないですけど
So that's why you hear her counting.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
間違いないこれは何か
This trick is very difficult.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
何が成功だかよくまだ分からんけど
Yeah, like the fact that this trick was
多分
known for like 6 or 7
やつに
years
乗れ
but
ってこと
really
ですよ
been
乗
used
っ
in
て
any recent runs really goes to show how difficult it was.
To be fair, there was also a bunch of other hard tricks that were later routed out.
There's a lot of really difficult tricks, including this one,
There used to be
even more.
way harder tricks than this.
Okay.
さっきからマイクにちょっとしか乗らないような声でカウントしてるんですよねずっとだから失敗してると多分壊して位置リセットしてまたカウントしながら戻ってってやってるんですよね今
You got this.
うんいやほらこうやって見てるとね月下のバグを使うのがいかに優しいかわかるよ自己清掃か
Everything about this trick is just it's kind of silly, honestly, just how many little things.
失敗してる時はみんな黙るからね。起きろと。女だ、悪かねえぜって違うよ。
I'm obviously doing something wrong. What is it?
いや、向こうは
Oh,
こういうのじゃブーイングしないですよ。基本にスピードランしてる人をなんか罵倒することは向こうはしないと思いますよ。うん。特にこういうとこにイベントだったら。どういうのでどういうのでいや、本番は難しいですよ、これ。そうそう。ダメか。
So this run's gonna be an overestimate.
Maybe everything else will
そう、
go.
アルティーンジャパンでもね、みんな緊張しましたよ、見てて。僕は運営サイドに座ってて見てるからさ、結構割と特等席で見れるようなもんですけど、みんな結構ガチガチでしたよ、その、やる前は。これ RTA ですね。
Whoa, camera. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
ああ、惜しい。多分あれの、さっき一回乗ったから、あれをしたいんだろうなと思うけど。おああ
Oh. Slip it a finger.
Yeah.
お、なんかやってるよ。お、できたっぽい。
Finally, okay.
あ、まだ終わってない。
It's not over. It's not over. It's not over. Stop, please. Stop.
Not over yet.
Stop clapping. It's not over.
アーカイブのリンクはまだないですね。これからアーカイブは作っていきます。ただ、GDQ が終わってからじゃないと一応 YouTube には開けません。はい。おお、これで終わった。
Now it's over.
That trick is.
Good
Oh my
job.
gosh.
Okay, so for reference, about half the time I do this, I pull all that off first try. So, yeah, sometimes
Marathons happen.
It's pretty precise, so like if you forget how to do it, kind of, because like if you're a little bit off, I think most of those times I was doing it too early and didn't realize it.
Alright, so what she's trying to do here is climb up to the top of the room from out of bounds, and then she wants to make the game think she's on the next room.
で今、
So she, and the
床
only way
抜
to
け
do
を
that
して
is
外に
pretty much
出
is to get to
て
the door to the next
そ
room.
れでまあ外を
So
登ってっ
then
て
she
部屋
will immediately,
扉に入る
transition the room
部屋に入るの
back.
が目的
So yeah,
で今やっ
now
て
she
ま
jumps
す
from here. Now the game thinks she's in the first room, and she's gonna go back inbounds, but the game,
Whoops.
but she's in the quote wrong room, which is gonna affect the physics for this trick coming up here. And there's a puzzle there you see there with all the blue orbs. You're supposed to have Hyper Ball to blow that up, but she doesn't have it right now.
なんかいろいろ物理法則がひどいことになってるのがいいのか
Okay.
There's another way of getting around this, but it sucks.
Yeah, you don't want to.
So
Okay, let's put it this way. If I didn't do this trick, I would have to do that earlier trick again. Boy, watch that.
All right, so this trick is kind of interesting. So there's a counter for this puzzle that counts up to 9, and when that counter hits 9, the puzzle's done. However, when you destroy a blue orb, that counter goes up by 1, and then after 3 seconds, counter decrements by 1. So what you're supposed to do is be in Morph 1 and zap everything at once. But what Claris is doing here is she's shooting a blue orb to increment the counter once, morphing and unmorphing during a charge shot, such that another charge shot will hit the same orb again as she morphs. So that brings the counter up by 2, and then decrements it by 1 after 3 seconds, meaning there's a net increase in the counter by 1. And so she needs to do this successfully 9 times, and then the puzzle will
解
solve.
説の人がいない
Yeah,
からさ
very basic,
ど
not really
う見ていいかわかんない
accurate explanation is that instead of
これを
shooting
9回
all
やって
9
る
orbs once, I'm going to shoot 1 orb 9 times, and then it'll open.
And this is not possible if the game thinks she's in this current room, because
Yeah,
normally she cannot unmorph in that morph ball slot. But the game thinks she's in the wrong room, so the collision for this puzzle is a little bit wonky.
and
One important thing is that you can't actually tell if this is working. So sometimes I'll only destroy the orb once instead of twice, and I just don't know if that happens. So you just keep doing this until you're done.
メトロイドどうなんですかね
We've got a $322 donation from Dice Guy D30.
There we go.
He said, time for today's randomly rolled donation of 10 30-sided dice in honor of my father currently
Not
undergoing
much of an
chemo.
angle.
Good news, though. Today I rolled 161, but one of the die rolled a 30, so you know what? Critical donation. Let's double the amount.
Good job.
Thank
Alright,
you very much, Dice Guy.
so that is early Alicia. Those 2 huge tricks.
Still saved way more time than doing Rio. So
Rio costs like around 20 minutes to do at least, so... Now, Alicia introduces these fun little zip lines that are basically time sections you
so-
can't speed up. And there's all these enemies you were supposed to shoot out of the way that would knock you off or do damage to you, but you can literally just turn on hyper mode and not care, because it's hyper mode.
though you do want to turn off hyper mode during some long ones, because otherwise your tank will auto vent and you'll just lose the knee tank.
yeah, I have 25 seconds of hyper mode before you lose it. So if you cancel it manually, you won't lose an energy tank, but if you let it run out on its own, then that energy tank is gone.
Normally, by this point, you'd have a mechanic in play called corruption, where after a short amount of time, in hyper mode,
時間経過でゲージが
starts
増
to
加するようになっ
rise,
てゲージがいっぱいになって
you have to, you can't let it fill all the
Oh.
way, or else you game over. But Claris skipped that part.
So she's never going to get corrupted in this run.
Yeah, the main thing about that is if you get corrupted, then you can no longer manually exit. You have to waste the entire bar and your entire energy tank.
There will be no corruption in corruption. Really makes you think.
Alright, so now she's pretty much just going through the story path of Alicia. You don't need Hyperball for like anything at all anymore. Well, in this
There's
area.
one
ああそうだね
one
2個は
more
なんか
thing
それ
at the
かい
very
なんかそういう話あった
close
Not
to
right
the
now.
end of Alicia.
So our goal is pretty much to go through Elysia
Oh.
and get boost ball. And Elysia, the main area of Elysia is actually a very linear path. It looks very confusing, but in actuality, it's really just goes from door to door for the most part. So
There's some shortcuts that open up later on, but
he doesn't
For
have
the-
access to them.
一応走ってる人がいる
for
ぞ
the
囲め
first
囲め
run through of the area, you have to go all
囲め囲めっつって
So here's a mini boss coming up called Steam
RT
Lord,
フェア
and
見たぞ囲むんだっ
he's
つって
a mini boss that's invisible for the most part. However, if you destroy one of these minions, then he spawns and starts trying to revive it. And then that's when you can damage the Steam Lord. And you don't actually want to use Hyper Mode in this fight.
Yeah, because Hyper Mode will knock him all over the place,
Take
and
it.
when he gets knocked around, he disappears again.
So, rare scenario of not using Hyper Mode on a boss. Well, not primarily.
Yeah, these are going to take out the Hyper Mode, but then I'm going to turn it off. Yeah, I also need to make sure I keep my distance from the boss, or else
Oh.
it'll like nose me and disappear.
ありがたいですね情報知らない
I
から
don't really know how it works.
コメントでも補足が
I
来
think
る
it
と
knows,
本当にあ
like,
りが
it's
たい
not constantly, but apparently not.
Just getting another energy tank here. It's practically free, and as Hyper Mode does use up energy when you use it offensively, you want as many E-tanks as you can that aren't out of your way. I think you end the run with like around 5?
Yes, 5.
So,
追っかけはできなかっ
different
た
role
と
at the
思い
very
ます
end of
ね
the
確
game,
かに
but
ね
we'll talk about that when we get to it.
So, wait a second here, or else, due to the way this room's laid out, I'll start loading a different room if I go
Oh.
too forward too soon, and then I'd have to wait like 5 seconds at that door. Not much is going on right now, so if you have more donations, that'd be a good time.
Absolutely. We've got a $50 donation from the twins that says, "This is for my parents. My mom survived cancer, and my dad has his second
フラグ
chemo
を通
treatment
過してないの
tomorrow.
で
Good luck to the speedrunners. I've been watching for many years now, and every time it just gets better and better." We've got a $30 donation from Draken that says, "Obviously had to donate during Metroid, my absolute favorite game series. Much love to all the runners playing games for a great cause. Poke that bobblehead, beat cancer, stay immersed, and save the cosmos."
stay immersed. Are you still immersed?
I lost my immersion recently, so hopefully I'll get it back soon.
Well,
Well,
you're
it's a
about to
good
get boost
thing
ball
there's
soon.
plenty more motion controls to get you back in the immersion.
Oh, there's even some. There's one mechanic coming up that
かけ
doesn't
は
quite involve motion
多分
controls, but is still very immersive.
パートナー契約みたいになってないとダメなんじゃなかったかなと思ったけど
I think we have time for a few more.
We've got a $30 donation from Omicron54 that says, "As Samus shall be freed of her corruption by Phazon, so shall our world get rid of cancer. Good luck on the run." There's a $26 donation from Armadillo64 that says, "Samus, all efforts to stop this donation have failed."
Yes.
And of course, a $25 donation from Trainer Emily that says, "Save the animals." Wait, wrong Metroid game.
Okay, one quick thing. That ice missile lock door is not an ice missile lock door. It is a normal missile lock.
Yeah, so
You don't need
the
ice
game,
missiles.
The game doesn't expect you to
Silent
be at this
issue
point
5秒が
without
無敵
ice
です。
missiles, which are obtained by fighting Grungus. And so there's no real reason to distinguish between ice missiles and regular missiles here. So the ice missile locks actually are vulnerable to regular missiles.
That's just in this area, though. Like, the ice missile locks in Brio and Orient are actually ice missile locks.
ドネーションのコメントがやっぱりセーブディアニモ
Another one or two before the next puzzle.
Well, Oranges donates $30 and says, "Even with the motion controls, which aren't that bad, this is honestly one of the favorite in the trilogy for me. Good luck, Claris. I'm rooting for you." And there's $25 from Remora Vox that says, "Always great to see a Metroid Prime game being run during GDQ. Thank you, Claris, for running this game. See you next mission."
Right, so there's a puzzle coming up where she needs
どう
to.
なんでしょう
There
強い
are
んですか
these
ね
things that block the grapple points that you can kind of see right there, and you need to lower them using the morph ball tunnels here. And there's 3 of them you're supposed to lower, but she's going to be
一本落
skipping
ち
the
た
very first one. It's kind of a tight grapple to do, so hopefully, especially since when you release your
あ
grapple
2本目が
on a
落ちた
grapple swing, you actually lose all control of Samus, which is really annoying, and was not a thing in Prime 1 and 2. So being able to grapple across these grapple points without lowering the first ball is actually pretty tight because of the awkward angles and
ああなるほ
the
ど
aspect
そう
of
やって
losing your
使うの
control.
か
Ooh, got it.
There you go. Yeah, sometimes if you can lock onto a grapple point, you just don't grab it. I think it's if you're like at a really steep angle or something. It's kind of silly. But yeah,
あありがとうございます
Maybe you can.
one more. You can do one more.
We've got a $20 donation from Flydon that says, Corruption was a favorite of mine. Can't wait to see it beaten far faster than I can. Good luck, Claris.
Alright, so there's a mini boss coming up called the Defense Drone, and what you need to do is knock out the antennas behind it. Really easy to do with Hyper Mode thanks to its Gatling gun charge beam. And then that opens up its weak point, which you grapple lasso, and it can start damaging it. And then usually, well, I don't think anyone's ever run-rounded this besides me for some reason. But
I'm sure someone
must
has at
do.
some point.
Probably.
I haven't.
I don't know. I still don't know how I did one round at this. But typically speaking, you can come really close to killing this boss in the first round before it closes itself, and then you have to repeat the cycle. The hitbox is also kind of wonky for its weak point because you have to hit that little antenna in the middle.
倒したまだか
And she's periodically turning off and on hyper mode again because, again, if you wait too long, you auto vent, and you don't want to use up the entire energy tank, and 2, you don't want to auto vent when you're actively
どんど
using
ん見
hyper
た目
mode.
から
That's actually not the reason I'd do it in this fight. It's so I'll have a full bar
シ
at
ュ
all
レディン
times.
ガーの
Oh,
サム
that's fair. Yeah.
Because I don't want to use up the whole bar and run out of hyper mode early.
ブーストボー
So
ル
now
なんだ
that she has boost
なブー
ball,
ストボールって
this will be her primary method of movement for the rest of the game.
I believe rolling is just around twice as faster than just walking in general. And since you can boost ball now, it's even faster. Alright, this is a very immersive mechanic. Just keep spinning around.
It's time to noom.
It doesn't even matter if you boost at this point. You can just, as long as you're
ボー
moving,
ル状態でダッシュなるほど
it'll continue to rotate.
その方が早いん
Yeah,
だろ
so
う
you just go in the circle for 15 seconds.
As opposed to
And-
like 1 second in Prime 1 or 2.
I'm gonna do that about 7 times in this run. Because it's so thrilling to go in a circle like that for so long. It's helping me get immersed in the game again.
あれ
That's a nice little shortcut to get down really quickly. I mean, you pretty much just fall down.
Whoops. That was
落ちちゃった今
Right after I said you falling down. I'm sorry.
Exclamation point, I fell down.
Right, so now Claris is gonna get back to the AOU unit, which is kind of the NPC of the area that you need to talk to start up certain missions and progress the story. But to access it, you need to activate one of these boost mechanic things. So you need to get boost ball and then go there. So she's pretty much backtracking to the halfway point of Alicia. Thankfully, some of these shortcuts speeds it up a bit.
そうですね今の走ってる人1個前か
So I think we can squeeze in a few donations at this point.
No problem. We've got a $25 anonymous donation going back to something that was mentioned earlier, saying, working in government, I can confirm Metroid Prime 3's realism. Simon is exactly how we secure our doors. And there's a $50 donation from King Manatee saying, great to finally see Prime 3 in a GDQ. While I haven't had any experience dealing with cancer, I don't want anyone else to have to. Let's get rid of it for good.
お亡くなりになってましたねと
Oh yeah, there's these green ledges. For the immersion, if you jump into them, you can grab them and climb up the ledge for whatever reason.
I too only grab onto things that are green.
I
Yes.
think
なんだ？
the
何してんだこ
explanation
れ？
is that they're magnetic. I
I don't think there is like
なんかいろんなギミック多いね。
plausible explanation for that.
They just wanted to put Pyro Grip in the game, like from Zero Mission.
Samus just really likes the color green.
you'd think she'd make her suit green then.
I mean, her visor is green. Like, she makes her whole field of vision green. Like, she's just green all day, all the time. You know, then her, like, matching ship. It's one of my favorite things about Metroid, how she has, like, the suit, and then the ship is just, like, it looks like the suit. Like, she really likes the suit. Or maybe the ship came first? I don't know.
Alright, so there's these work bots that come out of here. For each portal, the next work bot will spawn after you kill the previous one. So Ceres kind of wants to just kill all 4 of them at the same time, roughly. So they all keep spawning roughly at the same time. Because you're effectively bottlenecked by the last work bot you kill.
And
What's the
these
word?
enemies
The
are
game mask
fairly
with
weak,
the
only
other
dying to 1 hit. Even without hyper mode, they die very fast.
Proto mentioned green. There's a lot of green there. Did you know? Soon everyone will be corrupted, including you. Oh, wait, that's this cutscene.
That's not for a while.
Oh, is it not?
No.
That's
I mean, we're not going to be watching it, so it's like. We'll just say it was this cutscene. No one will know.
Yeah.
Alright, so now at this point, the AU unit is basically saying, oh, well, you need to fix all these, weld all these panel things to fix stuff. So
in
go
order
kill,
to-
go kill Gore and get his plasma beam.
the game doesn't actually tell you where Gore is at this point, but very soon the ship will start saying messages that it's under attack. Obviously, it's Gore doing it, so now Clarice is heading back to the ship.
And this is where she really wants to have that hyperball puzzle at the start done, because she would otherwise have to go find a way to get out of bounds to go around it. And the closest out of bounds there is terrible. It, I believe, requires like a 2-frame spring ball into like a frame perfect unmorph or something.
あ、クラックヘッドっ
And
て気
motion
違いってんだっ
controls.
け？
Yeah.
Also,
いや、だって日本
laser things
日本
can
人
be
のためのストリームなんだから、これ
pain
アウ
to
ト。
actually shoot,
いや、そ
so
こ番所こ。
just being able to hyper mode through them is a huge.
Yeah, I tried to take those out earlier today and completely failed.
そういうこと言うやつはダメ
And
です。
if you fall at any point, you have to redo the entire thing. So it's not worth like
I mean, you lose nothing by
even-
using hyper mode.
it's not worth even attempting to do it normally as a joke, because you lose that much time if you fall. So Clarice will actually jump before morphing to cut out a boost.
多分ちゃんと解説してると思ったんじゃない？
That gives her a bit more momentum to start going
Ooh, I
down the
turn
half
it to
pipe.
the right, twist it to the left, then the left
まあだけど
again.
ね、解説者いないからね。
Congratulations.
クラックヘッドってそういう意味なんだ。へえ。
Finally, a video game that gets me,
まあ本家は
and my
あれ
want
です
for
からね。
twisting things to the right, and then the left, and then the left again.
So this is a pretty valuable
Kokoi.
shortcut to skip part of the backtracking, which requires boosting around for like 15 seconds again.
本家が
Go faster and
スポンサー登録してる人しかコメントが今できないんですよね。だから
Okay.
あと重いっていうのもあるし。
Since we're just doing a backtrack, I think we can squeeze in like 2 or 3 donations here.
Well, no problem. We've got a $1,337 donation. That says twice a year there comes a time to donate some money with Rhyme. A week full of fun, game after game, quite speedy at that, nothing lame. In the winter, they gather around to stomp cancer into the ground. For summer
So
break,
ですね。
their
そういう
orders,
感
a
じの。
healthy amount to cross borders. The GDQs, that's the trick, where awesome
だから
games are
コ
done
カイン
quick.
中毒者の集まりだみたいなこと言って
Fantastic.
That was beautiful.
All right, so Claris is about to fight Gore. This first bounty hunter you're supposed to fight, totally. But yeah, generally speaking, what you need to do is you need to shoot Gore, I think, like on his weak point on the back, which stuns him, and then you can deal actual damage to his main weak points. And of course, her main method of defeating Gore is going to be using hyper mode. Just in time.
Yeah, that
なんかま
cutscene
た
worth
気
it.
づけばボスになる
He's laughing about it.
So Claris is actually going to delay, like, attacking Gore a bit. If she does too much damage too quick, Gore will get unstunned, and she would have to stun him again. But by delaying just ever so slightly, she can take out his first phase quickly.
That's the second phase right there. Third phase, Gore, it goes into hyper mode, meaning you have to use hyper mode, which is not a problem at all.
You don't have to, I think, when enemies use it, but
You really should.
Yeah, you
They-
really.
You do like 1 damage with everything else. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's actually
I
true.
want to say it's 10% damage with everything else, which
Right.
is like very, very weak.
Especially given your other weapons are already very weak. So she just got Plasma Beam, which is useful for burning things down, burning like certain, whatever they're called. Like, what are these things? Yeah, melting them.
alloys.
Alloys, there we go, thank you. That was a very useful scan visor use.
And they're also useful for another very immersive feature.
Oh god.
Why?
Alright, so, do you want me to explain it?
We'll explain it when we get to
Yeah.
it.
The
Though it's
other
pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You can open red doors as well, which is pretty important.
I think they're orange.
Or orange?
Yeah, I think
Orange
it's,
is closer, I guess. Yeah.
I think missiles are red.
Oh, we should clarify the message part of Plasma Beam. So Power Beam charge does 50 damage, but getting Plasma Beam increased it to 50 damage. So
Yeah,
So,
charged plasma does the same damage.
And on some enemies in Brio, it does even reduce damage.
Yep.
Yeah,
And there's no beam swapping.
so charged plasma beam is a
もう何が
literal
何だか
nerf
わか
in
ん
this
ねえ
game.
Well, at least on Brio.
Well, okay, there are a few cases where you can burn enemies. But yeah, it's kind of...
it does increase your uncharged shot power from 5 to 7.
Yeah, it's 7.
Yeah, but then on Brio, you start doing half damage to enemies. And so even once you get Nova, Nova is also weaker than Power than on those enemies.
So really, you should just be using hyper mode.
Yep.
So this is a really valuable shortcut that you need plasma beam for. This pretty much skips like a third of the detour backtracking, which you may notice we pretty much going just back and forth across Elysia, but unlocking a few shortcuts here and there to make it a lot faster.
Yeah, this will be like the last time I go through these areas, though.
After repairing the Aurora unit, Claris will go to a new landing site and then go back to Brio and collect the screw attack.
Yeah. Because you need plasma to get screw attack, but gotta get my ship repaired first.
Alright, are you ready for the immersion?
No.
I am.
Welding.
Let's do it! Woo!
Pretty fast.
Oh, wait, round 2.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
so if you want to
解説見ながら
only
として見てるだ
do
けだな
within the line, if you touch without the line, the entire thing falls apart. Actual people who know welding explain if that's not true in real life. I somehow doubt it, but
I kind of doubt it too.
Thank you, Samus. We must first as an alternative this facility.
So yeah, What the A unit is telling you is to blow up the Leviathan seed of Elysia, which is pretty much your main goal of this area. You need to get a map and build up a bomb to drop it on top of that. We're not entirely going to do all of that, but we are going to destroy
そ
the
う同じ
Leviathan
ぐらい
seed.
です
I
ね
mean, we're not gonna do any of the bomb at all.
That's true.
The way to the bomb, you need screw attack, and you'd quickly run into wall jump surface, but Claris actually won't be using that at all.
Auto repair
And
function.
for
But you'll see why later.
For those not familiar with the game, getting Screw Attack in Prime 2 and 3 allow you to wall jump on certain surfaces. You get Screw Attack surprisingly early in this game compared to other Metroid games.
In Prime 2, you get in the last area, but
I think it's your last upgrade before Quadraxis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
マップ手に入れる必
it's
要
really late.
なんじゃないですか
this way you get around the halfway
メ
point.
トロイド詳しい人お願いしますって
Screw attack does deal a lot of damage, but it can be a little
It's
weird
unreliable.
Oh.
to use. But it
And I mean, it. A lot of the time, like you're still just better off using hyper mode, even though screw attack's really powerful.
Alright, so she just unlocked the second landing
Xbox
site,
One
which she
ね
will
今
use to depart and come back to this area.
XBOX
after
含
she
め
gets
This is
XBOX
pretty much
360 の
the
ゲー
only
ム
landing site
を
Claris will
毎
use
月毎月
for the
毎
rest of
月
her time
確実に XBOX One でできるようになってますからね
I haven't actually saved since early release.
プレステとは違うのだよプレステとは
Yeah, I don't want to redo that.
Okay, I did not actually test these in here before I did the run. I started the run, so
Claris has a bunch of timers set up for a trick.
yeah, it's probably
I
like
would-
20 minutes from
yeah.
now. But I should test it now instead of like when I'm actually there trying to do it.
That's a really good trick to just wing.
キノコタケノコ戦争の方が不毛だろ
We've got a $100 donation from Voolagin saying, "Hey everyone, I'm really enjoying this run by Claris, though personally I enjoy watching more speedruns without used secret worlds
確かにそうって
because these speedruns are real. Seriously though, great job so far and good luck with the rest."
That's a notorious quote from someone in the Prime community. Who,
え
It,
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
yeah, just leave it at that. Alright, so welcome to Fire Brio. There are these gates you need to move with the plasma beam, although you can actually just jump through them after you shoot it. Well, you don't need the plasma beam, right?
議論がむちゃくちゃな方向行ってるけど
yeah, normally you need charge power, but since you have plasma, you can just use that.
おおすげえ
Uh,
If you-
that did
ソ
not
ニック
go
じゃん
well.
ソニックやっぱり
Yeah, she actually jumped on a standable ledge there to skip
この速さ
a
ソ
bit
ニ
of
ッ
a
クだ
puzzle
よ
where you're supposed to shoot down this platform and rotate
なんだ
it,
これ
creating a
What?
stepping stone.
アリさん
You need 5 of these
Enemies.
things.
Cause you to float
Ari-san?
in these tunnels, but you
I
don't
almost
have,
messed that.
Alright, so you're supposed to have plasma beam to shoot that ice out, and then do this quick little puzzle here to make an opening to Ice Brio.
なんかイベントが
you can actually
No, no way.
get into Ice Brio early using out of bounds, but the problem is that you can't get back out.
So like,
So you have to do it now.
な
getting
何
screw
がなん
attack
だろう
early is theoretically possible, but you soft lock, you just can't get out. So it's unfortunate because it may potentially be useful if you could get screw attack earlier, but that's how it is.
おなんだ
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it would actually help with early Elysia.
Yeah, look at this amazing cutscene where it just freezes while staring at Samus.
Totally not a
どこだこれ
loaded screen. I'm really immersed in that. So like this ice here you can actually destroy with charge hyper beam. Of course, it's fast and better to just use plasma beam if you have it.
Which you
ま
better.
た下に落ちるんかい
If you don't, you're probably screwed. Alright, so
If-
Claris moved forward there before shooting the ice out just so she can hit the low trigger for this room more quickly.
If you don't have plasma beam and aren't trapped, then you're from the future.
近住民のワープ装置で氷のエリア
So I skipped ship missiles, but I still
追
actually
加エ
need
リア
them
が
to
トー
beat
タ
the
ルコー
game.
タル今あったけど
So instead, I'm just gonna get a ship missile
追
expansion.
加エリアが
because
表
you
示
only
され
ever
た
need
の
one.
でなんか
You
映像
could
スクリーンに
theoretically get a different one that's faster, but it's
反映しますみたいなのがあるんだけど
It's not reliable.
yeah.
スクリューアタックで
And you can
壁を
also
登れ
just walk, or basically word for out of
これあ
bounds
れ
travel
竜はやぶさじゃないのこれ
to the main ship missiles
竜でしょこれ
and
竜はやぶささん
get
でしょ
those, but that one's a huge pain in the ass. Like I saw Kirby do like part of it,
Ship
and he got
missile
like to the first
expansion.
door and quit.
Yeah, it's not fun.
So yeah, that's my ship missile for the game.
Yeah,
right
if
there.
you're not familiar with what ship missiles do, they're kind of the equivalent of power bombs in this
They're
game, except not
stupid.
very
That's what
good.
they
Because yeah, they're pretty bad. Because you're
Yeah,
really limited in where you
ninja
can
nara.
use them. They blow up everything in the room and kill every enemy, but you like can't use them in like 80% of the game anyways.
So basically,
ほら忍者龍剣伝じゃないですかこれ
in order to use them, you need to have a room with an open ceiling. So like half the tunnels are out. You can't use it on Alicia for whatever reason. Probably it would destroy the planet or like the station or something. I don't know. And
You can't use it in Pirate Homeworld until after you disable the defense, I believe. Which
Yeah.
at that point is still very limited to a few rooms, and everything's dead, so there's no point.
you can kill this one enemy to get an achievement, and that's
Oh,
about
yeah.
it.
Alright, so now she's just gonna get out of
This
Brio.
name,
It's the last time we're gonna see Brio, and she's gonna go straight back to Alicia. So, I think we can squeeze in a few donations here.
Sure, we've got $100 from the Friendly Rangers saying the Metroid Prime trilogy is my favorite game series of all time. Kill the corruption. Climbing Coder donates $50 and says, had to donate during one of my favorite series of all time. Good luck to Claris and all the runners today. Save the frames, immerse the animals. And there's $30 from Old Hoovian who says, Claris, make it stop. I'm so immersed. I can't take it.
This ship is very immersive.
You can like look around, like you can look around in real life too. It's crazy.
And you can see your own legs.
Unfortunately, I can't right now.
Did it like say Metroid on the bottom of the ship
Yes,
there?
Metroid Prime 3 Corruption.
Loading
Yeah,
screen.
no, it has a bunch of game logos, not just Metroid on it.
Yeah.
It's like an unlockable. You can do it based on the save files that are on your system.
It's kind of a neat little Easter egg. I think if you have like files from like Mario Galaxy,
Like
or
there's
Twilight
the
Princess.
Twilight Princess logo on the top.
I like the Easter
サムスは
egg.
全部同じでしょ
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hurting my immersion.
All right, Claris needs to load the next room. She's gonna use a screw attack to get out of bounds underneath the next after the next room has loaded. So she's gonna screw attack down here.
And in this, she gets caught on the collision of the next room, and until she bonks, and then she needs to get into out of bounds and get to the next door.
Yeah, so she needs to go out of bounds here because there's actually a transportation elevator to East Elysia, but it's blocked off by another hyperball barrier, and we can't get through that, so you have to go around it with out of bounds. So this could be a good time to do a quick overview of how out of bounds works in this game. So generally,
Every room is in a box.
every room is in a box.
No.
Yes.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Okay. But basically, inside that invisible box is what you have, quote, quote, normal physics. However, outside the box is what people call ether. And when you're in ether, you're in a state of maintaining the same height and just kind of staying there. But you can still walk around horizontally. So right now she's in ether right now. But when you walk from the side of ether into the side of that invisible box, you have a 3-frame window to do a jump, which is what she's doing right now, called an ether jump. There's no real good visual cue for this, so takes a lot of practice to get down, because it's generally going to be invisible. You just have to get a feel for it. And ether jumping is the most reliable and quickest way to get to the top of a room, usually.
the ether itself actually pushes you up, but it's at a very slow rate.
Yeah, and right now she's on what we call the skywalk, which is the very top of that box, which again is ether, so you can just walk across it. And that's the hyperball puzzle she's skipping right now.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Solved.
And then she's gonna let the next room load around her,
このゲーム大丈夫
and
です
then
か
she'll just get put back in bounds like that.
There's a different
Well,
way
you
to
took
skip
the
it
gaba-gaba
on
sumimasen.
the hyperball puzzle on the way back.
And a lot of times when you want to get back in
Gaba-gaba
bounds, the
sumimasen.
easiest way to get back in bounds is just get to a room before it finishes loading and let it load around you. But that's not something you can always do every time.
When that isn't the case, you do what is something that's called a ceiling warp, but we'll get to it later.
I just want to apologize to all the fans of those 15-second spinners because that's the last one I do.
Wow.
No.
My immersion.
Okay, I'm over it.
プライムのスピードなんでよくあること
I'm so sorry.
I need more of my boost immersion.
All right,
よくあ
so
るこ
this
とで
is
済まされて
Sky
て
Town
困るんですけ
East.
ど
Normally you fight a bunch of pirates here, but you can do spring space jumps to take a shortcut through this room.
And also, she's gonna be using another spring space jump into a square attack to get to
Missile
the room that you're
拡張。
supposed to exit into after getting the next upgrade, Seeker missiles. So she's actually gonna be taking the path backwards to go get Seeker missiles.
So normally in this area, you're supposed to go get ship grapple and then get the first bomb piece, and then go to the pirate labs and get seeker missiles. Here, however, all she's doing in this area is just getting the seeker missiles and then piecing out.
あ
She
落ち
waited
た
there intentionally, or else that flying pirate will be in the way and knock her off.
Yeah. Or it
Oh,
could
no.
still be in the way and knock me off. Okay, let's forget this then.
But yeah, the only reason she's in this half of Elysia at all is just
Come on,
to get
de
Seeker
も普通のこと
missiles,
やん。
because there's no way to skip it. She needs Seeker missiles for only one reason, which will be
こ
coming
の
up.
場は
And it's also why having extra missile
Ma.
tanks can be helpful, just
Mm.
not for the actual firepower, but just because every time you
割と
fire a set of Seeker missiles, you fire like 5
壁抜
missiles
き
usually.
は
So it eliminates some of the need to look for refills.
するな
By E-Tank. This part,
So
There's
this,
Metroids in this game, by the way.
first
Yeah.
Metroid.
this part is memorable when first playing the game because, like, you see these Metroids in tubes, and you just know that they're gonna break out. Like, there's no way that they're not gonna break out. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, like casually speaking, this was actually one of my favorite parts of the game. Actual immersion of just being scared of the Metroids and then being, oh god, I know I'm gonna have to fight these soon. This is gonna be really scary.
It's just a matter of when.
The immersion just gets too high at this point.
Alright, so there's a lot of these tunnels with dumb little lips at the bottom, which prevents you from getting clean boosts across them. So Claris is doing boost spring balls to pretty much just boost over them like that. Well, it's more difficult than it looks because you have to charge a boost and a spring ball at the right time.
サノス
Which,
一般人じゃない
again,
ですよ
spring ball requires flicking the Wiimote, which can be very uncooperative at times.
調べよ
And also, if you're already in the air, then you can't spring ball, so those little whips might cause you a little bit of height and then kill your spring ball.
Okay, this is the first energy cell that Claris will get. Energy cells are kind of the equivalent of artifacts and Sky Temple keys. In other words, they're kind of the final collectibles you're supposed to get to access the final area of the game. There are 9 energy cells, I think,
Yeah.
but Claris is only gonna get 3 of them because they're literally on your way in this game, including being required to take an energy cell for Seeker missiles. So the final collectible of energy cells pretty much becomes a non-issue. Casually speaking, you need a minimum of 5 energy cells to reach the final area.
You can actually reach the area where you use the energy cells as soon as you get screw attack, but there
生身
all
の
you
姿は
can
金
get at
髪
this
壁
point
眼
is
の
just
地
a
球
bunch
人
of
女性であるって書い
expansions
てあるよ
and I think like an energy tank.
Yeah, the area is called Valhalla, which she can kill Oda right now, but there's no real point in the speedrun.
Yeah, not
so,
until you get Nova Beam.
yeah, so we're
地
gonna
球
get
地
into
震
that
情
when
勢
it
って
becomes
書いてあるよ
relevant. Right now her goal is to just get out of East Elysia because she got secret missiles. That's the only reason she's here.
There's a bunch of Phazon Metroids, but you can just safely ignore them.
Yeah, the doors don't lock or anything.
で
so
パワード
as
ス
long
ー
as
ツ
you
を
can
着
get
て
these
る
secret
から
doors quickly.
こういう動きができるって書いてあるよ
Please say that after the secret door opens.
Good point. Secret missiles in this game aren't very good. Yeah. But yeah, there's another energy tank. It's pretty much on your way, so there's no reason not to get it. It's just very helpful.
Secret missile. This area is one of the big reasons you get missile tanks at all up to this point.
I think I jinxed it. I apologize.
Because getting refills can be rather slow, as you can see. Oh,
Nice
come
refill.
on!
スーツなくても半端なく動くぞ
To get refills.
You kill the Metroid?
伝説のパワ
Yeah,
ー
I
ドス
think
ー
you
ツ
could just kill the Metroid. Maybe.
Hopefully it gives a refill.
You have hyper mode.
No, I was doing that to get rid of the missiles. 'Cause I'm hoping it would.
Oh yeah,
increase
that.
HPMs.
So, like Echoes,
Oh,
this.
There's one.
Whoops.
So like.
Okay, I get one more shot at this. Please actually work this time. Thank you.
普通の人
So I
こ
believe
背
this
骨ゴルフ
game
死ぬ
uses the same
Oh,
smart
way.
drop system that Echoes uses,
It's not exactly the same, but it's similar, I believe.
Yeah.
where it gives power-ups based on what you need.
It's like if you're low on health, you're gonna usually get higher health drops, and if you're on 0 missiles, you're generally gonna get missile drops. It's not something that's really that relevant usually, just because you generally don't need to care too much about drops besides health drops. Right. Yeah, I think we can squeeze in like a few donations here.
We have a $10 donation from Kedzie saying, amazing seeing Claris pulling through with these tricks. Claris 1, RNGesus 0. Take these 10 bucks and put them wherever you please. Well earned. And good luck with the rest of the run, friend. Got $5 from Scruffy129 saying, I was going to wait until the end of the week, but I knew I had to donate while Claris was doing her fine black magic to tear apart Metroid. Claris, you're my hero.
Thanks.
All right, so
正確
there
に
was a
は
hyper
骨
ball
が見え
area
るか
that
って
she
いう
had to
か
get out of bounds to get around, and she needs to go through it again here. But fortunately, the solution's really easy.
Not quite
Relative.
out of bounds this
そう
time,
ね
but you can just walk over here and press the B button repeatedly.
Yeah,
複
about
雑
20
骨
times
折は
and it just
ま
makes me
あ
There we go.
日本語だとどういう定義になってんだろ
And
う
G-
Are you ready for this immersion of the screw attack walls? Wow, beautiful.
that's basically where the game will tell you that to go get screw attack. But since we already knew where to go, that's the first time viewing the scene.
And didn't need to go there anyway. So
複雑骨折って
Okay,
一
so
応
there's a
外に出
trick
る
coming
っていう
up. We're
扱いで
supposed
いい
to
ん
get
だ
the
よ
Theronium bomb parts with the ship grapple
まあ
to
開放骨折っていうんだっけ
be
日本
able
語だ
to
と
activate the Spire sequence, which is the sequence where you drop the
Esa
bomb, Theronium
Kossetsu
bomb
っていうんだっけ
onto the pilot seat and then fight the main boss of Elysia. You can skip this by going out of bounds. There is a I think 2 rooms adjacent to this, there's like a very tiny invisible trigger points for the Spire sequence. 3 rooms ahead. And she has a like 3 timers set up to be able to get this trick down. So, yeah, here we go. Just gonna use the same out of bounds she did before. After loading the next room, which should be already loaded, I think. So,
I don't think she didn't enter the ship, so it should still be
yeah,
loaded.
it should still be loaded.
I was too high there.
There used to be another way of doing this out of bounds, but
知りませんよ
Yeah.
Don't do it
I
ever.
really don't want to do it.
What?
"日本語だと解放骨折って言うんだね。
Nothing's ever over yet.
まあまんまですけど英語でも。
Okay. So she's doing a set of ether jumps again to get to the top of the room and to the door so she can transition into the next room. Again, a term we use for making the game think for the next room.
Yeah, I know all about that term.
なんでこう皆さんあれなんですかね。こうマップの外行きたがるんですかね。3D のゲームはね。
Now, this room here that she just transitioned to is the room that you're supposed to exit out of after the spire sequence.
Is it this room or the
偶
next?
然じゃない。
Next room.
It's the next room, okay.
There's a really long elevator leading up to it.
結構ねバグを見つける人はねそれを狙って探しに行ったりするから。
Yeah. These ether jumps are not as easy as it looks. Just takes, I mean, they can be kind of consistent. It just takes a lot of practice to get them down
Eh?
in any of the crime games.
俺がそれ言う？
Take those cutscene skips I did yesterday, make them a little bit easier, but then do them like 100 times.
All right.
That's
So
not mine.
neat thing about the command visor is that there's actually a
Eh?
compass on it for some reason, and she's using it here to
あのー
line herself up.
なんかドンキーコングで無
She
の
has
取
a
得とか
timer
言っ
that
てる人
tells
い
her
ました
pretty
け
much how
ど
long to walk in this direction. She has a specific setup
そ
to
れ
try
の
to
がわから
hit
ない
this
と思うん
very
ですよ。
tiny invisible trigger that's
無の
far
取
out
得
in
っ
the
て言って
middle
た
of
でしょ。
nowhere. So
So first, you
あれの方が
actually
よくわか
going
んない
to
で
a
しょ
different
解説。
room's box to do some more ether jumps to
無の
get
取
high
得って何
enough.
ですか？
Yeah, so right now I'm going to Spire, which is the room with the pirate fight that you do and then you drop the bomb. I can't really explain things right now.
yeah, she's gonna need to focus on this quick a bit.
Basically, she's going to a
何してるか
really
わかんない
big
もん。
room to get high enough to reach the trigger.
Yeah, it's basically a door way that's invisible and you can't see it and it's way out of bounds and then I have to find it.
And the map is more or less useless at this part.
Okay.
And hyper mode is really useful when trying to ether jump in out of bounds because like you have no visual cue of anything at all. But when you turn on hyper mode, you can see all these tiny little particles. That lets you know like are you actually going up in the ether jump or are you actually falling? And
ハイパーモードを使っ
have no visual cue of that
て
otherwise.
粒子の動き
so
で
she's repeatedly
なん
re-entering
かチ
hyper
ェックする
mode
みたいですけど何
just
が
so
何
she
だか。
actually knows what she's doing.
Yeah, so what I did here was go to the corner of this room. So like
なん
I
か
don't really know how
ハイパーモードを
to
使う
explain
と
that, but
次の場所が
I'll
分
know
かり
where
や
I
すいか
am
ら
once
なん
I
かハイ
get
パー
to the
モード
top
を
of
使っ
the room
て移
now.
動してますと
So
か言ったけどよくわからん何が何だか。
This room is really, really tall. So donation would be good.
Absolutely. We've got a $150 donation from Debattist Hick saying, first time donating for my favorite video game series. I've been going through the Prime trilogy for the first time and rushed to get as much of Corruption done before this run so I could properly enjoy it. Loving what I've seen so far. Good luck on the rest of the run.
Thanks.
これ見てる人
Yeah,
は
so
ポ
I
カ
got
ーンでし
exit
ょ。
out of high mode every so often so it doesn't auto-vent my energy takeaway.
And she does need to fight a few things, so she wants to have as much health as possible.
全く何してんだか分からん。
She actually goes higher than she needs to, but
You can't really tell how high you are, so you can't go to the height you need to be easily.
All right, there we go. That's a skywalk, which is the top of the Spire's box.
Okay.
Here we go.
Line up the compass there. Go.
開発チームないんだこれ。もう
She has
全
a
然
separate
わかん
timer
ないよ。
again to pretty much tell her how long to walk, and for every one of those unmorphs she did, there's a timer of how long to
ひどい
unmorph
ぜこれ。
immediately that she keeps resetting. So hopefully she hits it.
あ、なんか下になんか見えた。
Yes!
Great job.
Alright, so that's the scariest part of the run. Because if you don't find it, then
You have no idea where you are, so
either
good
that
luck.
or you have to redo basically all of it.
So yeah, she just completely skipped getting the bomb parts and ship grapple. So now the game thinks she has the Theronian bomb, and now she has to defend the bomb from getting bombarded by pirates. So this first ship here, you're supposed to destroy these ships, but the first ship here cannot be destroyed until after it fires a shot. I assume it's because
Fire
it's to
structure.
demonstrate that these ships can damage your spire structure. So like after it moves over to the right side, she can actually destroy it, which is why she's not using hyper mode, because there's no point in trying to outright destroy it since you can't until now.
なるほど。
She doesn't have to worry about the flying little
全くもっ
robots
て
too
わ
much.
からんのですかね。
She just has to prioritize killing the pirates.
That ship would drop off more pirates, but she killed it before they had a chance to jump off.
Ooh, yeah, you are kind of low.
全カットですね。
I vented an extra energy tank while I was trying to get here.
何が何だかわからない。
That, I believe, is the last of the three
Yeah.
She's
ships.
the last one.
Yeah, so it's gonna come back over here. Does a full circle around the area.
確かに。
Feels immersive watching it go around you.
お、ぶっ壊した。
So we're gonna be a random pirate right there that just jumps off.
It gives up.
He gives up. The pirate's dropping out.
Alright, so now you just go into the escape pod, like you turn off the engines and then go into the escape pod and escape, and nothing bad will happen.
This
Yeah,
is
they perfectly tested everything.
何事もなかった
before they sent
かのように問題なくストーリーは進んでいくっていう。
It's not like she has to go down and fix anything.
I mean, I don't understand why she couldn't just call her ship here, but
There isn't the blinking lights. How would she land without the blinking lights?
do raise a good point there. Now, this is
Immersion.
where welding gets terrible.
一筆が鍛え。
So normally you're supposed to actually rip that one panel off with grapple lasso, but for whatever reason it can be destroyed with hyper beam.
Yeah, and then the grapple point is still there, even though the wall's already destroyed. Whoops.
Oh, nice moves.
I have to wait for this to load anyways.
Yeah.
Intentional.
Sure.
Demonstrating her immersion with the
これ
loads.
だから RT は怖いわ。今回カードケースはないで
Wait,
すね。
Are you ready?
爆死します。
Woo!
爆死します。
See, I like how it
時間
uses
制限が
Samus's
何も
left
なかった
arm when most people play with the Wii one in her right hand.
ルイン
My
して
immersion experience has been
確かに
ruined.
爆発するよって言って
To be fair, they do usually put the grapple stuff on the nunchuck for that reason.
Yeah, they
but
usually do. So
た脱出イベントですから
not-
Samus confirmed three-handed. It's the only explanation. She has two left hands.
The plan worked.
What plan?
Oh hey, the plan worked.
the plan worked. Wow.
What plan?
Yeah, what plan? I don't know.
Whatever. It won't work.
Alright, so on a more serious note, the Leviathan Seed shield has now been blown up, so now Claris can just fly over to the Leviathan Seed and fight the main boss of Elysia.
The boss impact
Oh, thank you for clarifying that.
Is that part of
Game
the plan?
commentates itself.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Why
Like,
do we have
why
a couch
are we
here?
even here?
Like, why? Alright, so this is a very, very not forgettable boss coming up, I think.
What are you talking about? This boss is very memorable. So, like, the first area, like, first main area
Plan
with the
beat,
Leviathan,
何もない
like, the boss there is Morganar, which is one of the giant golems you see throughout the area. Like, you know, very foreshadowed and stuff. The boss of the next area, Pirate Homeworld, is obviously Ridley. You don't just fight him. It's
Spoilers.
No, no, you're wrong. It's Omega Ridley. Get it?
Spoilers.
Gosh. Right,
Alright, and here's the boss of this area.
this is the boss of the area.
Seeker Missile Walks.
What? Okay, attempt number 2. Do it. Hey! Woo!
There's still
There's
more.
another one. There's another one. Oh,
Giving a bit of fight.
there we go. There we go. We need some applause for that.
And now for some reason there's this. I don't know why he.
なんだこれ
The previous boss seemed like enough to me.
Mhm.
Alright, so seriously,
Helios.
Helios, you stun it, and then you wait for it to open up, and hit it with more Hyper Beam.
And that's it.
And,
この後にタイム
It
and
was three
then,
times, and
yeah.
then that's over. Very thoroughly assigned boss here.
Normally it's a little harder to hit if you don't, like, when it's unstunned, if you wait long enough, but why wait?
Yeah, and there is a damage cap per phase there, so like Claris couldn't really do any more damage at that point. And there we go.
So, for whatever reason, there's actually 2
あま
hyper
だタイムじゃなかったか
and you can, if you, by standing in the right spot, you can
Armor
just
suit
get a second
upgrade.
hyper missile and get another percent.
Yep. So you can get 101% in this game. One of like
Whoa.
3 ways to get
Yeah.
it, I think.
You can get 255% in this game. That's where it caps.
Like, so randomly somebody did like a 100% playthrough or a run, and then they got 101% and had no idea why. There's like a second hyper missile pickup.
Yeah, I believe it was Uchiha SDA, and he went to go back through his videos to see where the
全然
percentage
なんだかわ
doubled,
かん
and
ね
it
え
was hyper missiles. So, yeah, interesting.
なんだ今の
And
Press A to release Phazon to the Phazon core, or whatever it's called.
何のイベント今
That
の
just immersed me so much into this game. So yeah, that is Elysia. We are completely done there. Don't need to go back again at any point.
Wait, you're not going back for Spider Ball?
Nope.
Wow, sad face.
What's a spider ball?
Anyway, we're gonna go to Pirate Homeworld next, but that's gonna take a bit because gotta tell you about it and loads and all that. So good time for more donations right now.
We've got plenty. $50 from Sushi Elemental saying, "Oh, you spoiled children with your immersive video games. Back in my day, moving the controller did nothing. All we had in Metroid was the balsa wood suit and old short bow with no arrows, and we were fine with it." We've got $30 from Cyberbot X saying, "So why do all the civilizations in the Galactic Federation have things that work perfectly for the only power suit in the galaxy? Good luck on the run, Claris. And now how about that all bosses in Athena?"
I've been wondering about that this entire run. I just think about that every time I watch a Metroid game. It's like, why are there all these morph ball tunnels and things that are perfectly designed for Samus? Like, is she just some sort of god? Like,
It's a string of coincidences that basically Samus can shove any explosive up her arm cannon and it will work as missiles.
Yeah, but, like, why do even the pirates design all these morph ball tunnels everywhere for Samus to go?
Vents.
I believe there's
That
a
are
scan log.
perfectly Samus shaped.
I believe
Well,
there.
galactic regulations. OSHA. Gotta have that safe workplace.
All right, so this area introduces acid rain, which is actually really dangerous. It drains your health exponentially and very quickly. So you can stand in it like 1 or 2 seconds and you're fine, but after that you're probably dead. So Claris is gonna do a double bomb jump into space jump here to skip a puzzle here, and she's gonna get her second energy cell, which is basically required. You can't skip this. Well, casually speaking. And that opens up a morph ball tunnel. Surprise. And also stops these vents so she can keep rolling through and go to the next set of rooms.
Yeah, we really don't care about that additional information. So
Okay. Soon her goal right now is to make her way to X-ray visor, which is the intended first major upgrade in Pirate Homeworld, by the way. An X-ray visor in this game allows you to activate certain terminals and also see weak points in phasite and such. So it allows you to one-shot some enemies. It allows you to activate X-ray terminals, which is the more important part because that's what you need it for. And I think that's mostly it. Oh yeah, you don't need secret missiles for these. Technically.
何だった今の
There you go.
yeah, the hybrid mode works on that for some weird reason.
There's X-ray visor.
X-ray visor.
Right, so these terminals here are random, and you also cannot just blindly guess and hope you get them correct.
You
Like,
think you could, but
just can't.
they specifically programmed it so even if you got it right, to make it wrong instead.
Yep, change the answer on you.
and the patterns for these are all random, so doing it quickly comes down to being able to react to the correct patterns and finding it quickly. Ah, couldn't make the cycle.
Yeah, you have to hit that like immediately, or else you have to wait for the next one.
So this is a shortcut that will take her
This side.
back to the main elevator. And you see a missile there. She's not gonna grab it.
Oh, I was supposed to skip that. Whoops.
What? Oh.
ごめんなさいね。
So I have to go reload the room.
Oh yeah, she was morphed before the cutscene in the morph ball slot, and that actually made this mechanic rotate without her, so she was stuck. So she had to exit and reload the room. I learned that the hard way once.
I'm sure we all have.
Yeah, I think most people have. See, there's another extra terminal here coming up that she's going to activate and get the Pirate Homeworld map, which gives her access to the research center and the mining facility, I believe.
No.
It's
so you could-
Just research? Okay.
It puts the like seed on your map. I think.
Yeah, it puts the seed on your map, but you don't have a way to get in at this point. Mines don't actually appear on your map until you
てか見事
enter
に
the area.
Well, they're never gonna.
逆三角形だよね。
In this case.
Oh yeah.
Right, so back to the ship.
We'll have time for some more donations here.
Absolutely. We have a $150 anonymous donation saying, "Love watching all the runs and supporting a great cause. Good luck to all the runners." There's a $25 donation from Blitzawolf that says, "I have been primed for this run all week. Thank you for corrupting my bank account.
Boo.
Cheers to everyone.
Yay, puns.
Punishing donation from Blitzewolf. $50 from Shinshia saying, love you guys, keep it up with love from Quebec City. And $50 from Venom1406 saying, I just had to spend some money on Metroid Prime 3 Hyper Mode.
うん、なんかウィキ見たら1メーター90の90キロとか書いてあって。
We've also got $20 saying, donating during Prime, one of my favorite game series of all time. Just leave Ridley alone. He's only fighting the corrupt Federation. Just look what they did in Other M and Fusion. Space Pirate Life. That's from Kirbyzard.
私は寝落ちです。
I tried to not remember what they did in that game, so. But
Yeah, so to unlock the gate, you just need to shoot that little switch there. And then there's a bigger room coming up where you have to do some platforming and go around the room twice, but Clarence is going to do an SSJ to skip most of
途中寝てたか。
Just like that. Well,
or not.
もう一回ウィキペディア調べる。
just like that, yes.
And now we get to listen to that for a while.
There is an energy tank in this more
ああ、
puzzle
パワード
here
ス
that
ー
Clarence
ツ
is gonna
着用時
get,
の
but it
身
doesn't
長が
cost much
190、体重90だった。失礼しました。
time. And you need to activate each of the bombs.
129点。
Pretty much open the path to the next
ド
area.
ラえもんじゃないの。ドラえもん違うか、数値が。
Next part of this Morphle tunnels. All right.
Is that the last energy tank you get?
Yes.
Yes, that's the last one.
Oh,
Yeah, it still has that siren going
Here's
on.
Claris's favorite part of the run, having to weld and use the X-ray puzzle. There you go.
Just reaching maximum immersion levels.
oh,
Whoops, I misread the answer there.
You're too immersed. You got it wrong. So yeah, that switch is important. It opens up the path to the next set of rooms. And you need to go to the trooper that just called you in and is asking for help.
the trooper.
Oh,
I believe the troopers said, well, actually, either said or will say that they know a way through the acid rain. That won't be an issue.
Yeah.
Also, that missile, you
That's
can
true.
get it early without Spider Ball.
仕事
Even
選ば
on
なそう
Trilogy, that is one of the few breaks that are still in the game.
It's actually a pretty cool trick. You kind of rebound off of an incline to bounce off without using Spider Ball.
Still going.
Still going. Alright, so in some rooms in Pirate Homeworld, there are these antennas that trigger an alarm, and you want to destroy them as soon as possible. In this case, there's no way to directly avoid these pirates spawning, so she's just going to shoot the antennas to pretty much trigger that.
it starts the cutscene
Yeah, it starts the
earlier
cutscene.
if you destroy that.
And they will follow you. And
So the next room, then I have to go beat them.
these are commando pirates.
Yes.
And there's a way to kill them even faster than hyper mode later, but for now, hyper mode will still kill them pretty fast. When they show up,
Yeah.
Alright, so Claris is going to do an SSJ here. What you're supposed to do is activate a terminal to unlock an elevator to go underground in this room, and then unlock another Morphle elevator to take you to the upper path. But she just skipped all of that using that SSJ. Alright.
Just hit one crate because I have to wait for the room to load anyway.
There's a boss fight coming up soon, and having as much health as possible is helpful.
You mean
Not
that
strictly
the
necessary, but nice.
that the Federation trooper isn't going to just be a nice NPC?
No, you're gonna help him first. He's gonna help you out,
Oh, we
actually.
can play Bop It with them.
All right, so this section coming up really reminds us of Bop It because they call it. The trooper will call out instructions to open something, and it's like pull, twist, and it's like that's Bop It. So I want to see somebody on Twitter draw Samus Bop It, please.
That'll be great. Organize our movements, or the security clamps won't release. Are you ready? Pull, twist,
Bop
push.
It.
Woo! Bop It, Metroid version. Spoiler alert, that trooper is actually Gandreda, the third bounty hunter who can transform. And
This is one of the few times where screw attack is used for combat.
and ideally, she won't need hyper mode much, so we'll see how this fight pans out. Gandreda will always jump to your left at the start of the fight, so you can time a screw attack and end phase
That's
one
bad.
immediately.
That's bad.
Did you skip a phase?
Oh, thank
There
you.
you go, there we go, there we go. Yeah, that's phase two.
Okay, phase 2, it can start turning into the other hunters, and
Those are
you,
slow.
Yeah, you can't speed things up once
You can't screw attack them, and that's the main important thing, honestly.
Oh, there we go. There's Gandreda. Really good fight.
Rest in peace, glowy pretty colors girl. You will be missed.
I really like Gandreda's theme.
Yeah.
You don't hear much of it.
Yeah. YouTube exists.
So we just got grapple voltage, the fourth of the 5 grapple upgrades. It's kind of an interesting idea, though it's kind of not used very well in this game. It's pretty much just used as a key to open doors.
You could also drain shields and stuff, but
Why do that when you have hyper mode? So yeah, Pirate Homeworld has these trains that Memory mentioned a while ago that you can use them to, they're kind of nice shortcuts and or elevator-ish things that you can use to go around the Pirate Homeworld more quickly. So this one takes you from the research facility, end of a research facility, back to the
and
ship.
on every one of them, you have to do the little mini game of lifting your Wii remote and pulling it down. And one of them will probably go wrong.
Yeah, sometimes it just likes to not detect it, and so you're basically doing this until it works.
I think the game lies because you only have to tilt it up and then down when the game actually moves it right at the same time. And I'm just like,
It doesn't say right though. It only says up and down.
Tilt the Wii remote up. Tilt the Wii remote down. It's so thrilling.
It's immersive.
all right, so now with grapple voltage, Clarice is going to go back to the command center. And you're supposed to, there was the room that she was in earlier with an energy cell and a lot of acid rain. The next room past that is behind a barrier that requires using grapple voltage. And it's all in acid rain, so you can't grapple voltage that normally without the hazard shield, which is the upgrade that you need to be protected from acid
ちょっ
rain.
と
However, there
作
is
業
a
して
safe
ました
spot
よ
just in range of the grapple voltage spot node that you can stand in and use grapple voltage
ガチャガチャう
without
っせえか
dying.
らちょっと
She's going to be taking advantage of that, and if you don't know where we're going with this, she's going to skip hazard shield, which is actually, I think, the first major sequence break ever found in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat.
It's one of the few items skipped in Aruki's old segmented run of the game from way back, which was
Yeah.
which
that-
held up for quite a while.
I mean, that run is like still better executed than most people. This run. This,
Yeah, Aruki's segmented run is very good, and it still holds up very well to this time, despite the fact that it's
遅い
very
マイン
outdated,
ドなん
really,
です
but
ねってな
still,
んだ
the execution's very solid.
It was one of the runs that really got me into speedrunning, actually.
And hazard shield is one of those skips that was implemented into that. So yeah, here's the safe zone. Just have to kind of inch
it
towards
didn't
it.
have to be shot to function this time.
And if you're in hyper mode and enter acid rain, you're gonna auto vent, so you can't just tank acid rain with
Like
hyper mode.
that.
Yep. Now here's a few fights she's gonna have to handle.
But
into
what
Acid
about
Rain.
the Chozo artifacts? This isn't Skytown.
So what Claris wants to do immediately is back off, back into the safe zone, so she doesn't take damage from the Acid Rain, and then take out these enemies with hyper mode.
終わりじゃ
She
な
also
さそう
wouldn't
な
be
の
able
か
to even enter hyper mode in the Acid Rain.
Yeah. Grabbing some health drops, and then she needs to destroy, back off again, and then destroy these full crawl
配
things.
信者は寝落ちは極力しないっすよ
Really wants to tell you about these Chozo artifacts.
Unit Samus, Unit 217.
Okay, so I'm gonna get out of bounds. Like,
Don't
basi-
forget to reload the room.
That's what I'm getting to. Basically right here, but you can't do it right now because there's an invisible wall blocking you. So I have to go
5イン
reload
チ
the
じゃ
room
ないですよ
to remove that invisible wall
Yeah, so
because for some reason they didn't keep that there all the
はい
time.
おはようございます
so the AU unit is telling you that you basically telling you to go back to Skytown Elysia to get Spider Ball, but she's also going to be skipping Spider Ball.
Right,
And this
this
is
is-
one of the rooms that requires Spider Ball normally.
Yeah, this is the only place that isn't otherwise faster to skip it anyway. So
Here we go. She needs to do a boost spring ball with the camera being wonky too.
There used to be another way to do it. That was much worse.
oh, much worse.
一本満足
Two spring balls and two
Ma-
long
ma-
jump
ma-
and two
good.
more spring balls. It was like in the span of a second and a half.
Yes.
There we go. Nice. So this is a really simple out of bounds in terms of what she's gonna do. She's outside the box of the room and she's just gonna climb to the top via ether jumping and then get back inbounds to the next room because the only point of this out of bounds is to skip that spider track. So I think she's gonna let the room load around her. Yeah.
It's preferable
Yes. There we go.
if
I've
you.
gotten stuck in the wall doing that before,
God.
and that was
ゲーム
one
当
of
た
my
り前
runs.
に当
You
たり
really
前
want,
に
it's
なんか
really easy
壁
to
抜け
get
する
stuck
か
out
ら
of
困っ
bounds
ちゃ
if
う
you're
ね
not careful. The really
ほ
easy
んとす
way
ぐそれ
is
だ
to
よ
screw attack because when you screw attack, you don't really regain control of yourself until you
See,
land.
see,
You don't gain control of yourself again until you land on a physical landing spot, which most of the time you're not going to when out of bounds. So yeah,
It was rusty. It was just immersion.
yeah, I had the way more effort to get that rust off.
all right. So this is the Train 2D mining area of Pirate
も
Homeworld,
う
I believe.
皆さんのコメントが頼りなん
And the
で
big room coming up is a room where you're supposed to kill a bunch of pirates. She's gonna
At
destroy.
first,
Save. Yeah.
you can activate save stations, not the shit ones, but normal ones with boost ball for. I do not know why. You just can.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, you just boost into it and it works.
But yeah, she wants to avoid if extra pirates from spawning, which wastes time. So she priority is to destroy these alarms that will spawn there, and two more, one more. There we go. And now time to kill the pirates. Easy. She's using hyper missiles, which she actually just got from Helios. We never talked about that, but hyper missiles are actually
Chart
can
更新
be
じゃないですか。
useful at times. They're really the kind of weapon where you just do a lot of damage in one hit.
Yeah.
So it's like if you just need to glance at an enemy and kill it in one shot instead of staring at it with charge beam for like an entire second, hyper missiles are useful for that.
So Claris is opening up this wall not to get the missile expansion. She will actually do another. I think it's
Two
yeah, bomb
jump SSJ.
Yeah, yeah, bomb of SSJ right next to it to get over a trigger that that creates an invisible wall.
Yeah, so I basically just got over invisible wall there.
Yeah, like you're supposed to turn this into a half pipe with the drill, but you want this extra floor here to make this rig
長いね
easier.
Still pretty hard though.
Timing is really tight because if you unmorph too late when you try to do an SSJ, you just can't jump because your jump has to be within a third of a second after you go airborne. But if you do it too early, then usually you're just going to be too low to make it in the first place. So in most cases, if you see Claris get an instant unmorph but not jumping, she's a little late. And it's a lot tighter to do with with a double bomb jump because you have to wait for the second bomb to go off before you unmorph.
And you still need the height.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I didn't think that was gonna work.
You got this.
point of this is to skip going around the entire pirate mines. Like normally
There
it
we
There you go.
normally it,
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna waste a little bit of time. It's not that big of a deal.
so normally the pirate mines is a huge circle, and you more or less end up like 2 rooms away from where you start in order to get to Nova Beam. And by using this out of bounds, you can skip straight to there. But there's another additional point to this out of bounds as well, but we'll get to it in a little bit.
Transitioning varies from area to area, and in some areas, transitioning
も
to rooms is really difficult.
Really,
in Pirate
really
Homeworld,
difficult.
you have to kind of the consistent ways to kind of roll off the edge of a door, but you don't want to do that all the time because you have to get back up.
うすぐどっか抜けちゃうからね。
So Claris is gonna load the next room, get on top of this door, do a few ether jumps.
Whoops. That sent me forward when I did not. Whoops.
Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Now she's transitioned to the next room, so her goal is to get to the top of the room, which is again the skywalk.
Oh no. Please stop falling.
So
Okay.
she actually
こういうゲームじゃない
she
です
transitions the room back to
Yes,
the previous
she did.
room in order to
め
set
ちゃ
a
くちゃです
trick in order to set a checkpoint.
Okay. So
Nova
checkpoint is,
Beam が
is set to the
使えるよう
previous
にな
room
りま
because
し
the
た
game still thinks she's in that room. She just got Nova Beam, which actually skips like a 4 to 5 minute timed fight that you cannot speed up.
And best way to die is to
Yeah, there's an
Restart.
object below the floor that just kills you instantly. Because otherwise you would be stuck in that room. There's no way to escape after doing that trick aside from dying. So what I did was the game thought I was in the other room, so it's gonna spawn me in that room instead. And so I can actually get out of here.
So that saves a lot of time. All right, hello. Nice to see you, Samus. So the Nova Beam is the final beam upgrade of the game. It's aesthetically, in my opinion, is really pretty. It opens green
It's
doors.
not hyper mode.
Yeah, hyper mode still completely overpowers it. It lets you open green doors, which is the main important reason. You also need it to defeat certain enemies. Or certain boss, I should say.
it allows you to shoot through certain.
Emergency.
Rotate first. I had that wrong.
It allows you to.
I had it wrong too, and I don't want plagues. So.
Nova Beam also allows you to shoot through a certain material type called phasite. It basically functions like the old
わけがわかりま
2D
せんよ。
wave beam, in that it lets you shoot through some walls.
Were you properly immersed with that?
No.
It need a WD-40 in the arm cannon.
Alright, so now her goal is to unlock the path to the Omega Ridley, which requires going through a set of sequences. I think we call it like a demolition squad sequence or whatever, where you have to kind of go to an area, and then the Federation shows up, and then they're like, "Hey, we need you to escort these guys with mines or whatever."
And we're gonna have them go right first.
because that's strategy. And you need to have at least 4 alive at the end. Before that, you're also supposed to disable the defense using Nova Beam,
も
You're
う
gonna.
but she's not going to do that.
She's not gonna do either of those
Nope.
things.
She will go to the room
eh?
that's close by to where you start the sequence. But all she needs to do is get to the end of those series of rooms.
Oh.
Accidentally got a missile. Don't even.
That missile is really lonely, so I decided for once I'd pick it up. Okay, until we get there, it's time for more donations, I think.
All right. Well, we have got a $150 donation from Corned Bee, who asks, "Am I the only one who likes motion controls?"
Yes.
I
yes,
like
you
them.
are.
I like them.
I like them in some games, not this one as much though.
There's a $150 donation from Keith Fife saying, "The Prime series
確かに
has
サムス
always
の
been
スー
my
ツがどんど
favorite.
ん青くなってるのは
Unfortunately, class prevented me from seeing the
黒く
run,
青くなって
but
る
I'd like to donate to name a Final Fantasy IV character after my good friend JP." And there's-
Okay, so
So this is another trick coming up.
yeah, Guy's saying this against this wall so that Acid Rain doesn't try to kill me. It's not really cooperating right now.
So she needs to do an SSJ against the wall to land on a tiny standable spot in this more tunnel there. There you
And then I got okay.
Nice. That jump is really skeptical. Weird. Sketchy. Yeah, this is the room where you're supposed to start the demolition sequence, but now that she's out of bounds, you can just kind of go through. I hope you're ready for this epic music.
なるほど。
No.
Oh. When you land on the bottom of Ether, you basically have to mash to get out.
A lot.
もう何が何だか。
This music's pretty epic. See, that's the best part about Metroid speedrunning. You can shoot to the music all the time. Now the music changes again.
Yeah, this is the same music that was on Norian for like half of it.
So yeah, what you're supposed to do in these rooms is basically go through room by room, killing everything in the room before the next room unlocks. And then also make sure that the demolition squad is protected and they don't die. So saves a lot of time because you don't have to kill anything. Until the end at least.
Oh. Oops.
Okay. That transition looks really scary.
Honestly, I was worried you were stuck in the wall.
Yeah, same.
Oh well. I knew what I was doing.
もう何してるかわかんない。
And like with Out of Bounds and Prime, it's a lot more limiting than some people may initially think because like it's not a ticket where you can just go out of bounds and go to wherever you want. You always have to go manually to the door to know the next room and keep progressively.
And
keep
there's
progressing
pretty
that way.
much nothing you can do if you need an elevator or in this game
何が何だかわ
ship
かんないしこれ。
to reach new areas.
So like the final area is faith, but there's no way to go there in the first place. And similarly with the final areas from Prime 1 and 2, you can't go to the final areas without a bounds alone.
Another unrelated note, hey, the demolition trooper counter finally showed up.
I rate this run a 12 out of 12. Alright, now she wants to get back inbounds here because that's where the sequence ends. And then that activates a trigger for a cutscene that puts her back in bounds.
And now for a mini boss of sorts.
So you have to fight the pirate commander, whatever.
The
He
red run.
teleports a lot, and that's luck. So hopefully it stays in place. Wow, fantastic. Now she has to defeat all the other commanders here, and she's going to be using Nova Beam plus X-Ray. As Memory mentioned before, this beam goes through phase sight, and some enemies have phase sight, which if you use X-Ray and Plasma Beam, you can one-shot enemies.
Well, or close to it.
Yeah.
Defeat them faster. You won't have to dig through their
So now
armor.
the fight's over.
I rate that fight at 12 out of 12.
And right.
This is the most important part of the run.
Oh.
What I meant to allude to is the one spot in the game where you need ship missiles. There we go.
If you could skip the item from the Leviathan feed on Pirate Homeworld, you could skip getting ship missiles altogether.
Yeah.
So that means the item in the Pirate Seed must be really good.
ああ、あれそうだった
Oh
んだ。
yes, it's just the best.
Very useful.
なるほど。
Man, that 12 out of 12.
Still there.
Still there.
I rate
Still
this.
there.
I rate this joke a 12 out of 12, that's for sure.
Yes. I rate this loading cutscene a 12 out of 12. Oh, it's gone.
マジか。リモコン押したり引いたりするって。やだな。
Alright, so this is the last Leviathan seed of the game.
Sort
And-
of.
Yeah.
Last one you have to fight a boss in.
I hope I'm not too low. Okay.
So you can actually get out of bounds to skip these, but you need Nova Beam for Ridley himself, so you can't actually just skip Nova Beam for this.
これラスダン。
So there's quite a bit of luck in the Ridley fight. The idea is you want to stun him as soon as possible by usually shooting his mouth. So Sheaf can stun him quickly.
Okay, the music started way earlier than normal for some reason.
Grapple open his chest. Now start shooting his chest while he flails around like an idiot. Phase 1 done. Ridley gets some phase-ite armor on him now, so he's gonna have some attacks.
Oh,
you canceled
I got
that.
too close.
またリドリーさんって書いてありますけど。
Really easy attack.
オメガリドリーって
So
書いてあ
now
る
she
けど。
stuns Ridley, and she has to shoot the weak point of the phase-ite armor, and she has to do this twice to destroy each part.
何がどうオメガなんだろう。
Nice. Okay, armor's gone. Now his chest is completely exposed. However, you actually
まあアー
can't
マ
kill
ー破
Ridley here
壊
no
し
matter
たか
what.
らなん
And now
か
he starts a flying sequence where you kind
当
of
て
just
放
wait
題とか
around,
です。
deeply immersed in this fight, and wait for him to land.
音ゲーすんな。
I rate your present missile situation a 20 out of
音ゲーしま
25.
すけど。G2A の
No idea if
URL。
shooting them there even does anything.
ろくでもない宣伝。なるほど。エキサイティングファイトって言ってる割にはエキサイトしてるように見えないんだから。
I think the flying by phase is nope. Still
It
another
goes
bombing
through
run.
4 times, and then so next time it's gonna land.
うんだから踏んでない。
And done.
Nice.
So now it's time for the final item of the game,
The final grapple item, more importantly.
Hyper Grapple. It's phase on grapple voltage.
It's incredibly
ハイパーグラッ
useful.
プル。
You basically only use it on a couple obstacles. If
It
you can,
has the word hyper in it.
That makes
Clearly
it good,
in this
automatically.
game, that
何
means
が
it's
ハイパーになったんです
absolutely
か？
fantastic.
If it has the word hyper in it, that makes it a speedrunner's best friend, right?
there's only like
There's
two
two spots.
required uses of it in the game.
Also,
think-
since I skipped getting corrupted, for some reason it gives me a normal hyper mode bar at this point. But if you drain it, then it just goes back to the like permanent one.
Are you ready to press A?
Yes, I'm ready to get so immersed right now. Oh, I pressed it too early.
Immersion ruined. She actually controls her arm cannon via Wii remote.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for Samus now. I take everything mean about Samus I've ever said back because clearly she must lead the most miserable life in the world if she actually has to survive by using a Wiimote. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Huh?
You don't want to know.
I like the Wiimote.
No, you don't.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. Did you learn not to?
ガーラーシステム。
Alright, so her goal is now to go to Valhalla, which we mentioned is a side area you unlock after getting Screw Attack. It's kind of the area you're supposed to use energy cells in and kind of explore little by little as you get more upgrades in energy cells. So there's never actually a need to go there immediately until the end of the game. But the end of Valhalla pretty much has a code that you need to access the final area of the game. And this is where you need energy cells, which Paris got 3 for pretty much free. In addition, there's another energy cell that's right in front of you, so...
なんでバルハラなの
Right there, in the green. But she's not gonna get it.
バルハラって女人禁制でしょ
Thematically wise, this is supposed to be kind of an abandoned ship, and it's really spooky. It has Metroids flying around everywhere.
It's basically a destroyed version of the area from the very beginning of the game. If you remember back, there was a ship called the GFS Olympus. Most of the rooms are basically destroyed versions of that one. It's sort of like the crashed frigate of Prime 1, except without water.
In my opinion, it's actually a pretty neat area, casually speaking. It's just, the loads in this area also kind of suck. Bit of an understatement. Alright, so she did some platforming there, just kind of going around a few times.
This is the equivalent of the area where you got missiles.
Yes.
So you can do a similar sort of set of jumps.
バルハラカンディイベントなるほ
The whole... Did you explain the point of this area?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, we did earlier. But
ど何やってるかわからない
what we're gonna do is get the code for the Leviathan that's flying around Pirate Homeworld because for some reason the code is on this ship.
I think there was like a pirate boarding thing that has
Yeah, there
it.
is like at the end, but like why is the code on that?
There is an energy tank coming up, but it's a little bit more out of the way, so she's not gonna get it.
コードを探してる
Here's the third and last energy cell she's using. There are 2 more energy cells you're supposed to need, casually speaking, coming up soon, but she's gonna be doing a really simple skip for that.
You would also have to fight a mini boss called
The Metroid Hatcher.
Yeah, and
It's terrible.
it's terrible unless you use. However, it has phase-light armor,
確かに
so
エネルギー
it's still
回収してたよ
vulnerable
ね
to the same
X-ray Nova.
yeah, X-ray Nova trick. So you can kill it in pretty much instantly
開かない
without having to do really annoying.
ロードとかして
What a loads!
Loads!
ロードが遅えってロードの催促してます
Alright, so here it is. You're supposed to use 2 energy cells to lower that bridge, but if you screw attack into a
This may
specific
be too
spot,
low.
the game...
Oh,
wow,
I
it
got
did.
it.
Yeah, the game just spawns you up there, so you can just skip 2 energy cells, just like that. Who needs energy cells?
Us.
何が何だか
Because
You can't be fully immersed without the energy cells.
I was gonna say one of them's really annoying to skip, but alright.
Who needs energy cells of quantity greater than 3? No one.
You can skip more with out of bounds in Valhalla, but like the route gives you 3 for free basically, so there's no reason to really go out of your way to skip more.
And the actual out of
汚染
bounds
されまくりです
required to skip it is
Very difficult.
yeah.
Oh yeah, this bridge is certainly a bridge.
Now I have to do that. Thanks a lot.
Oh,
Yeah, you forgot about Valhalla loads.
I think the Metroid was hitting me from
Yeah.
the other room there.
Anyways, I don't think there's really gonna be much happening, so probably a good time for donations.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got a $150 donation from Analog Mog that says, Kupo? Kupo! We've got an $85 donation from Cahote88 saying, greetings from Germany. I love AGDQ. Great event with great runners, awesome speed runs, and all for a great purpose. Let it rock. Also, $10 donation from The Zero Burger Zero King saying, loving the speed run of Metroid Prime 3 Immersion. I mean corruption.
Immersion doesn't even sound like a real word anymore at this point, to be honest.
we are in the game.
And this is a great time for more donations, honestly.
We've got $25 from IFD Delusion that says, been watching AGDQ for a while now, and this will be my first of many donations. I always look forward to watching all these games
ちな
get
みにまだ
destroyed
半
so
分すらいって
quickly.
ないですからね
Keep up the
全体のイ
amazing
ベント
work.
のね
NG Loki donates $35 and says, had to donate during one of my favorite games. What GDQ and the runners do is awesome. I only started watching last year, but after putting my mom through chemo 3 times, I'm amazed at how much everyone comes together for Prevent Cancer Foundation. Keep up the great work and keep the awesome games coming. Put this towards
飛びすぎ
runners'
て落ちたんだ
choice.
I don't even know.
Andy J. Retro donates $30 and says, Metroid is my favorite series. I'm thrilled to see a playthrough of this game. Putting this towards Author Blues playing Enviro Bear 2000 because I'm sure it's his main desire in life.
Poor author. Alright, so now that she's done with Valhalla, she needs to go to Pirate Homeworld to use the code she just got, and then actually unlock the way to phase. So coming up is the one of 2 spots where you need Hyper Grapple. And if it weren't for these 2 spots, you could actually just outright skip, like a lot of Pirate Homeworld, and skip Omega Ridley. But unfortunately, these 2 barriers kind of just block us from skipping Omega Ridley. So get ready for the blob.
You got me excited for a very different blob for a moment. There's a Wii game called The Blob.
The blob. Ah, that game. Haven't played it in so long.
I was just thinking of that one boss from Yoshi's Island, to be honest.
Oh, that blob. There's a lot of blobs in video games. Alright, so, but we're going to see a lot of loading screens and just rolling around, so I think we can just get off more donations.
Absolutely. We've got some more. $33 from Jesse H. Creative saying $33 to my favorite Metroid Prime game. Thank you, Claris, for running the game this year. Destroy cancer, destroy
Save the
phase,
Rundus.
save the Rundus. Donation goes to
that.
Runner's Choice.
That saved the Rundus. That was so good. Rundus is alive in this run.
Yep.
She has never killed him.
$50 from Marissa Raptor that says, been watching both GDQs every year for the past few years. Love how we can use our love and talent for video games to help kick cancer's butt. Thanks to the organizers and runners for powering through every year.
That's an interesting looking door.
So this is one of the few. This is the first hyper grapple thing. You can actually wall crawl past it, but the
Then you
problem
can't
is
get
getting
back.
problem is getting back. If you could find a way to get back,
さすがに
I believe a way
2時間
to
40
skip the upper
分ぐらいいっちゃい
one
ますかね。
was already found.
Yes, but I remember it being pretty hard, so it's like
Well,
would not be fun doing that.
Look at that
Eh.
well-oiled
Hidoi.
train switch right there.
ひどいですね
Meanwhile, I think
Shoutouts to public transportation.
public transportation as in only Samus.
Well, shoutouts to the shuttle that takes us to and from the airport, I guess.
Shoutouts to private trains.
Yeah, so right now I'm gonna use the code, and to go between these 4 rooms, it's gonna have 4 loading cutscenes, which really weren't necessary at all.
Or at very least shorten a few of them. Go on.
Come on. There you go. There's an actual like a token achievement you can get in this game where if you shoot that eye in the background like 100 times, I think, you get a token.
I thought it was 5.
Was it? I thought it was more.
No,
I don't remember.
It's like a lot.
Oh.
It's a lot. Should have shot it more.
I thought it was.
I think that was the wrong guy.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
think
so-
it was the squishier looking eyes.
Yeah.
Like the squishy Metroid amiibo.
Why does this game load
It's probably a good time for a couple more donations for them.
Absolutely. We've got a couple more. $30 from Admiral Dane that says, Samus, did you know you can use a spaceship as an umbrella? It's true.
It does protect you from acid rain, actually.
And there's a $25 donation from Linkums that says, Other M for Awful Games Done Quick 2019.
No.
Love the baby.
No.
No, please no.
We do have $10 from Metroid Master that says, Rip my immersion. Shoutouts to Claris for the epic run and to the rest of the Fusion and Zero Mission crew.
Shoutouts to Metroid Master.
Other M will be joining Mega Man X7 in the upcoming non-existent Games Done Quick marathon.
I never played X7. I'm not sure if I will keep it that way.
I mean, it doesn't exist, so like you really didn't miss much.
Yeah, I don't know why they went straight to X8, but oh well.
Right, a few more donations.
Well, we do have $25 from Grand Plopper that says, All of this immersion is giving me carpal tunnel syndrome. Happy to finally be supporting such a great cause. Keep up the great work, everybody. And also, just to let you guys know, there are a number of incentives that have been met for some games that are coming up. Super Mario 3D World did reach the $10,000 incentive, so we'll be completing Champions Road.
That's going to be super fun. Champions Road is ridiculous. It's definitely going to pay off.
ちょっと眠くなってきま
So
したよ
she's taking a trip to Phase, which is the final area of the game.
ちょっと困ったな
And Phase,
眠くなって
your
きたな
mechanics work a little bit differently in Phase, actually. Poke. And where your health, you don't really have a health bar anymore. Instead, you have a phase on bar.
We'll see.
Yeah, you'll see it.
And
That was the last
I'm
time.
positive I can beat FaZe in a minute
こ
and a
れ
half. It'll be
あ
good.
の申告タイム割と人によってまちま
But
ち
yeah,
で
you have like a
結
cap
構
on your phase, which is determined by the number of energy tanks you have. And it starts at 0 and slowly goes up as you take damage or wait around until it hits your cap.
今
And
後
then
の
you
ゲ
die
ー
if
ム
it
の
hits that cap.
解説
This is
者
also
は
a point of no
次
return.
がゆと
So
ゆとりんさんが次
no more poking the bobblehead.
ですね
No more immersion in poking the bottlehead.
はいゆとりんさんが
Actually,
次
there aren't really any
解
more
説を
motion control, like immersion
してくれ
things.
ま
Of
す
grappling the final boss. Press A to vent energy tanks. Yes!
トイストーリーまで寝てるわ職場で寝れると思っ
Yeah, so
て
you
る
see
ず
where
っ
the
と
yellow meter is
動きっぱ
now,
なしだよ
kind of a grayed out meter now. If your meter hits that cap, then you will die. So Claris wants to keep an eye on her health, or phase on meter in this case.
Unlike the most of the game, actually using your hyper beam won't, or hyper missiles won't drain the meter.
Yeah, the only hyper weapon that does is hyper grapple.
And this
そ
is
う
the
フェ
other
イスト
hyper
リーム
grapple
半
blob.
日ぐらいですね
And that's it. So keep in mind, Claris does not have Hyper Ball, and there are a few rooms where you need Hyper Ball. So she's gonna skip going around this room a bit by using a SSJ, and then blow up that
そんな
crystal
にさ
with
すがに
the
起きて
Hyper
ら
Missile
れ
and
ないよ
keep going, navigating the top of the room. Now what she's gonna do here is do a boost into an SSJ, which if she does it correctly, she can gain
We'll
enough
see.
distance. There we go.
Nice.
Nice.
That's actually kind of hard.
It's not super hard, but hey, it looks cool. You can kind of jump through a literal hole in the wall to get out of bounds.
There's a much funnier out
Yeah.
of bounds in Pirate Homeworld,
Yeah,
but
there's
we didn't pass by it.
Yeah, it's just literally a pipe in the wall, and you can see it and just screw attack into it, and it just leads out of bounds.
And it took years to find.
Yeah, I think it still works in Trilogy too.
Yeah.
It's just a funny
すごい
thing.
色してる
I
ね
think it was probably found after Trilogy.
Oh no. Oh well. That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. So there's a few reasons why she's navigating out of bounds. One, of
普
course, she
通
doesn't
に
have
やる
Hyper
と
Ball, but also
解放しない
it
と
allows
死
her
ぬ
to skip
That's
some
not
fights
that big of a deal.
she's supposed to do.
これ死なな
For
いってい
example,
う
there's a room where you're supposed to fight like 10 phase on hoppers or whatever, but she can skip that.
The worst is the at the very end, you have to kill a Leviathan infant,
Oh yeah, it's
and
pretty
that takes
terrible.
forever to die.
Wouldn't
It's even
be a
worse.
Metroid game without babies.
It's even worse on PAL actually,
Yeah.
which is the European version. There's not too many differences between European and US,
上のゲージが
and
あれ
most of
か
them are
あれが溜まるためなん
irrelevant
か
with the tricks
I
that
don't think
Samus is
there's
doing.
anything that's relevant like in this run I'm
The
doing.
current route
Dark
is
side of Noshishima.
nothing relevant, actually. But the health of how the Leviathan infant works is completely different between PAL and North American, but Claire's just skipping it, so it doesn't matter. All right. Carefully navigating around to reach the doors. This is my favorite part of the run because there's a lot of falling down, which is my hobby.
Exclamation point, I fell down.
Yes. More falling.
Hi, Kirby.
Hi. I think in one of these shafts, you're also supposed to like
Fight a
fall
monster.
Yeah, you're supposed
of
to fight a
sorts.
monster where all you do is smash into
Yeah.
its mouth. but
One thing we
skip
should
it.
note is that screw attacking out of bounds is really dangerous,
And
and you
don't-
should always avoid it whenever possible,
Yes.
because you can get stuck and fall forever.
Which is why you're doing it right now.
わからんぞ
So having a lock on with a scan visor gives you a bit more mobility.
まだ終わってない
And there you go.
Well, not done with the run, but done with the
ダークサムス
Fall Girl.
So this is Dark Samus, your only fight in the game, and your general gist is all you're gonna do is keep mashing.
ひたすら連射だな
That's pretty much your best form of DPS. Maybe squeeze in a missile if you can. Alright, so when she splits into 3 parts here, she's actually regaining health, but you can distinguish the correct one using the X-ray visor. However, the first time she does this, she's always right in front of you.
And there's also
There's
only one.
of them. So,
Yeah.
Oh, is it only one of them? I don't
Yeah.
remember. Okay.
Now there's 3.
yeah.
Only after a certain amount of damage does she split into 3.
なんだ合体なんていうかな
Okay. Again. Bummer.
My lock
もう
on.
何がなんだか
As long as
There we go.
as long as Dark Samus doesn't
Aurora
do
unit.
an attack that involves multiple of the clones, like it'll be a relatively
触手を
fast fight.
Alright, so this is the Aurora unit. You want to
触手
shoot
じゃ
the
ないわ。
tentacles and then keep shooting the exposed
テンタクル
hole,
だ
which
から
once you shoot it enough,
触覚だ
nice missile snipe by the way, it becomes stunned. You rip off the shell, and then you can actually turn down this
Eventually.
boss. So she starts it up with a missile, then 4 to 5 uncharged shots,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
another missile.
I couldn't lock on.
Using
And she's gonna try to repeat that. And the patterns here are random, so well, that's not a bad pattern.
これが
She
ラス
can
ボス
finish
か
stun him immediately. There you go. And
No
then if
missile
she does
の
this right,
右足に
this
す
should be
る
a 2 cycle.
No more motion controls. It's done. Well, other than one.
Okay,
All
so
range
time will
hit.
be coming up. This boss is the last phase of the final boss. This boss is also very random. She wants to be able to stun this any pattern that lets her stun this boss immediately. That's good. That lets her stun her.
せあの
Okay.
脊髄のとこの穴を狙う
I
って
think
いう
the
Well-
Aurora unit's
なんとも
male,
シュール
but
な
the Dark Samus is female.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And if she does this right,
all right. That's,
That's a good
last
pattern. That's a good
attack,
pattern.
So
おー
she Aurora unit becomes stunned immediately after.
And
Time.
time.
That was Grunton. Bye. Get me out of here.
Nope.
ああ最初に確か見ました
You're
ね
trapped on the couch.
Nope.
Great job.
Honestly, very good. Aside from
Yeah, it was really that one trick.
yeah.
Everything else was super smooth. All the
Everything
crazy
else
out
is
of
really
bounds.
good, honestly. So,
Girl.
lady.
なんだダークサムス吹っ飛んだ
We should get out of here. We're 5 minutes of rest.
なんか消えたなんか消えたけどよくわからんかった
All right, well, how about a round of applause for Claris and the incredibly immersive Metroid
全く持
Prime
って何
3
が何だか
Corruption
分から
Run.
んかった。誰か説明してくれよ。
Absolutely fantastic experience. Now, we are going to take a quick break here, and then when we come back, we may have a little bit of an interview to take you to. We'll get you some donations in the meantime.
フェイズを巡るプライム3部作は終わり。地球は狙われているっていう。